dizer alguma coisa que eu acho que nunca disse.
Let's get this party started.
NFL Game Pass is now exclusively on DAZN.
Let's get this thing going.
Watch every game, plus the playoffs and Super Bowl.
To the end zone. What a play.
It's your all-access pass.
That's how you fight a southpaw. Well on his way to coming back.
Kaitana does it again. Look at the emotion.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
From the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, two empires.
These two behemoths square off. Champion versus champion.
Two rivals who for the first time are standing face to face.
Who is going to emerge?
One home to the toughest test in MMA.
This kid means business.
The other, a ruthless gauntlet of fierce competitors.
Drop with the right hand!
Both have champions
Heavyweight champion of the world!
and rising contenders.
Collar. Unbelievable.
AJ McKee!
And now they collide.
Problema.
For the first time in history, PFL champs versus Bellator champs.
Mamma mia!
The best against the best.
Oh,
Including two giants who clash for the heavyweight crown. The 6'8" PFL problem
Problema with the championship.
versus Bellator's Darth Destroyer.
Champs versus champs.
PFL champs.
Bellator champs.
Champs versus champs, the first time in history.
Let's go. Oh my God.
This is how legends are forged.
Unbelievable.
King against king.
What a battle that is going to be.
PFL champs versus Bellator champs.
Welcome, fight fans, to an historic night in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Capital city of Riyadh playing host to PFL and Bellator champs versus champs. A truly unprecedented event. An unprecedented card in the sport of mixed martial arts. Your main event is heavyweights. Your co-main event is middleweights, and we have an incredible card for you leading up to those great matchups. Sean O'Connell and Chael Sonnen and Randy Couture here beside the PFL Smart Cage. And fellas, I'm all sweaty. My palms, I'm nervous about this. It's going to be an incredible night in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, driving towards that main event, Randy, where we see Reina Pereira, 2023 PFL heavyweight champ, against the reigning and defending Bellator heavyweight champion, Ryan Bader. This is the dream where you get the best in one organization squaring off against the best in another organization. Let's talk about what we're really looking at here, Randy. Back in your day, even in my day, this didn't happen. You did not get the champs versus champs, organizations coming together.
If this would have happened, I might have got my shot at Fedor Emelianenko, and that's the truth of the matter. This is the first time in the history of the sport that two huge titans in the sport have come together, champs versus champs. I wish it had happened, and I got my shot.
And look, we might have some PFL leanings. I think that Chael Sonnen might be biased towards the Bellator fighter.
I think so. I think we're going to have a great night. Look, this is
is a duel. There's so many stories. Right, we got Francis sitting right over here. We believe his next opponent's going to come from this. Mike Tyson's going to have a level of involvement, but nothing trumps the duel. It is Bellator MMA versus PFL. And we keep talking this has never happened in MMA. Guys, I don't think it's ever happened in sport. I cannot remember a time two conglomerates came together and agreed on terms. Tonight, there will be no draw. We will have a winner, and this discussion will be put to bed.
We'll be keeping score all night, but let's talk about this main event. Let's talk about the kind of problems that Renan Ferreira, himself nicknamed the problem, presents for Ryan Bader.
La Problema, 6'8", as athletic a man as I've ever seen. How many guys at 265 do you know that can do a one-legged backflip? Not too many. Now that man not wearing fights, and he's had some hit or misses here, but this season he changed camps. He moved to Florida, top team, shored up Conan Silveira, and blew through the season in 2023 to win his first world championship, taking out Dennis Goltsov, the #1 seed in the finals.
And he's doing it with the hands and the fast finishes. Now let's talk about his opponent. It's hard to find someone who's more veteran, more seasoned than Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader has never lost at heavyweight. I got to keep making that point because he had such a long career, but a lot of those fights were at light heavyweight. Everybody's got a number. Not everybody gets to figure out what that is. Ryan Bader's is anything under 265 from what we've seen. Guys, he's only gone the distance one time. He not only beat Fedor Emelianenko, he beat Fedor Emelianenko on 2 separate occasions. This is the champion. This is the captain of the Bellator squad.
I want to note, Renan Ferreira, he fought 3 months ago. Ryan Bader hasn't been sighted in a cage in more than a year. Will that be a factor tonight? We'll see you in the main event. Now let's talk co-main. Let's talk about Impa Kasanganay and Johnny Eblen. Impa, he won a championship in 2023, but not at middleweight, Randy. 205 pounds. He went up in weight, still dominated.
Here's a guy that went against Silveira in the finals, won 5 rounds. I think he could have gone 5 more rounds. His conditioning is impeccable. He believes his education has made him a better fighter. He told his parents, no, I'm not going to get my master. I'm going to be a world champion. And he has acted as a world champion since that day. And now he is a world champion, and he gets to put that on the line representing the PFL tonight.
He came away from our PFL championships $1 million richer, even more committed to proving his greatness in mixed martial arts. Going to be a tough test tonight against the guy who a lot of people think is the best middleweight fighter on planet Earth. I'm, of course, talking about the Bellator champ, Johnny Eblen.
Impa's got great credentials, but I will see that resume and I will match it with Johnny Eblen. This guy is undefeated, and not to mention he won the Bellator title the hard way. He was a 3-1 underdog. He went through Gegard Mousasi 5 rounds to none. I've got to bring that to you because so many people, myself included, believe Johnny Eblen is the greatest 185-pounder currently on the planet.
Incredible main event, incredible co-main event. You do not want to miss those, which means you're going to have to shell out for our pay-per-view, ESPN Plus and on DAZN. You got to buy these fights. This is going to be an incredible night as the champions from one organization, and former champions, I should say, square off against the champions from Bellator. There's your full card. Renan Ferreira, Impa Kasanganay. How about Ray Cooper III representing PFL here? He's a 2-time welterweight champion as he takes on Jason Jackson. That's a catchweight of 182 pounds. Bruno Capoloza, he had a heavyweight strap around his belt a couple of seasons ago in the PFL. Vadim Nemkov is making his heavyweight debut. He said, you know what, I'm going to walk away from my light heavyweight title and chase heavyweight greatness. Thiago Santos, Yoel Romero, Clay Collard, AJ McKee. You cannot find a better card this year. And we're only into February. And they're not just fighting for the bragging rights, they're also fighting for the super belt. This is brand new to the sport of mixed martial arts. This is brand new to any sport. It's a trophy within a trophy. A beautiful belt with a ring embedded inside. I really want one of these. I already have the belt. I do not yet have the ring. Randy, even with all of your belt collected, you don't have one of those.
No, I do not have one of those. I want one of those too. They didn't make those when I was doing this either.
This thing, Chael's so strong, you can't tell. That is one heavy piece of hardware.
Truly, I mean, we do the metric system over here. This thing's going about 5 kilograms, trust me.
A beautiful, beautiful prize. Every single one of these fighters wants to go home with the belt and the ring that accompanies it. Also, I told you about the bragging rights. The bragging rights really do matter. We talked to the fighters in the meeting, and every single one of them wants to say, my organization is better. Bellator is better than PFL. PFL fighters say, we don't get the respect we deserve. Well, they've got their flags, and they're going to literally and figuratively plant the flag with the win tonight here in Riyadh at Kingdom Arena. It all gets started, though, with an early card. We'll get to the pay-per-view, but how about starting it off the right way? A couple of local Saudi fighters, rising talents here from the region. Then we get to Claressa Shields, her return to the smart cage. Biagio Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, making a highly anticipated pro debut. And a rematch that is 5 years in the making. Henry Corrales, Aaron Pico. Last time, Corrales derailed the hype train that was Aaron Pico. Pico is eyeing revenge here tonight in Riyadh. We're here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which has become really the capital of the combat sports world. All the big boxing events are now happening here, and of course, for the first time, major mixed martial arts comes here. And Chael, it's a talent-rich region that is now exploding with enthusiasm for this sport.
I love it, guys. Everything starts with a good rivalry, right? I mean, even on tonight's card, we got Saudi Arabia taking on India, and at the fighter meetings, this one was very tense. Even at the weigh-ins, when we did this ceremonially, Mike Tyson's out here, we got the loudest reaction, not for Iron Mike, but for these two athletes. They both got their countries here, and there's a lot on the line.
Randy, obviously, there's a long history of wrestling and the grappling arts here in the Middle East. Those seem to translate pretty well to mixed martial arts.
Wrestling is the greatest and oldest sport in the history of man for a reason. Look at our two main event fighters. Two very, very good wrestlers trying to go out and impose their will on their opponents tonight.
Look, it's the biggest card in the history of the PFL and the biggest card in the history of Bellator. So we've got the best crew here, including the lovely and talented Amanda Gannon.
Look, Sean, I'm just going to say, I know you want that ring. You're not cool enough. Stick with your Star Wars socks. That's a conversation for another day. You're talking about the history that this card is making. It is historic for another reason. We have the very first women's MMA event in Saudi Arabia. Claressa Shields going up against Kelsey DeSantis. So many people have questions about Claressa Shields making her return to the cage. Of course, we know her as the boxer, the two-time Olympic gold medalist. However, she says for the past several months, she's been working on her ground game. That says she does expect to get the knockout tonight. Another fight with knockout power. For more on that, I'm going to bring in my very good friend, Josh the Punk Thompson, two-time world champ. Josh, we get the grandson of Muhammad Ali making his debut tonight. You got to talk to him earlier. What did he tell you?
I just came from around the corner. He's done warming up. He looks clean. He looks crisp. He's on point. He looks focused. Look, this is the next step after his amateur career on being a professional. That first fight is always the most important because that leads you on to the rest of your career. This is the opportunity to be great, just like his grandfather.
Just like his grandfather. A lot of pressure there. We're going to see how it all unfolds. We'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Amanda. Look, we're just about ready to start this thing. We've got an in-house master of ceremonies. I send it over to Safe, and he'll take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this historic night. The champions of PFL versus the champions of Bellator. الحضور الكريم الرجاء الوقوف في حال القدرة للنشيد الوطني للمملكة العربية السعودية.
The local national anthem in the books, and that means we are ready to start the mixed martial arts action. The first time ever major mixed martial arts has had an event here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We'll begin things in an amateur bout. Catch weight of 129 pounds. That means three 3-minute rounds between Malik Basahel and Vinicius Pereira.
Making their way to the PFL Smart Cage in the blue corner, Vinicius Pereira!
Making his PFL debut undefeated, as you can see, as an amateur so far, and he's a finisher. He's looking to impress the bosses. PFL Middle East is coming. He wants an opportunity to be part of the PFL's future plan. Interestingly enough, talking to Vinicius Pereira this week, he promised he would show Saudi fans something they've never seen before. Not even in the fight, but immediately after.
Vai significar para mim essa vitória tudo que eu dei no camp, tudo que eu me dediquei. Vou levar essa vitória para o Brasil, com certeza, sem dúvidas eu vou levar. Pretendo comemorar muito essa vitória lá dentro daquele octógono e vocês vão ver uma comemoração que ninguém nunca fez antes.
And in the red corner, Malek Basahel.
Malek coming, you know, we got a lot of excitement. That's a word that gets thrown around sometimes. Malek didn't tell me he was excited, but he didn't have to. When I was speaking to this gentleman after weigh-ins yesterday, he looked great. I even said to him, hey, you must not have cut very much weight. Many guys were tired, they were eating, they were drinking during the conversation. He said, no, I walk around at 2 pounds overweight. I think it's relevant that he didn't pull weight. I like that. A guy making his debut often makes that mistake. Malek did not.
This young man, he's fought all over the world, all right, in his extensive amateur career. But now he's excited to have family and friends in attendance for the very first time.
I'm honored, obviously, to be in this kind of show, but at the same time, like I said, to showcase my ability to my family and friends who are coming over as well. I got family coming over from different cities, friends coming from different cities, friends who live here, family who live here. I never got to showcase my abilities to my family and friends like live, so I just can't wait for them to see what I do.
Here's your tail to tape for the opening fight of the night. Both of these fighters very young in life and in their careers. 22 years of age for Basahel, 19 for Vinicius Pereira. You can see Pereira, the taller fighter. He also weighed in at that catch weight limit of 129.2. Both men with 67-inch reaches on the arms and 38-inch legs. Chael, give me these keys to victory.
Well, yeah, look, for Malek, I think he wants to get to the body. And I got to tell you that only because he does his best takedowns from there. Also, his chain submission attacks. That's the only way that he can really weaponize pace. Not to mention, his ground and pound is on point. And please understand, I'm not telling you just go to the ground. He's got to pound when he's there. You want to tell me about Vinicius, or should I take it from here?
I want you to tell me. I'm just here to bask in your knowledge.
Oh, and let's look at things in reverse, which is Vinicius, avoid the clinch if you can. Anytime that's happening, he's going to want to use his shoulder to bump him off. He's going to want to strike, he's going to want to move, and of course, attack that lead leg. That's his best opportunity to slow Malik down.
Andy Shepard, the voice of our PFL Smart Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Riyadh here in the beautiful kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And welcome to the Kingdom Arena, where tonight we are making history with this landmark Champions versus Champions event. And we begin tonight with a special amateur showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a freestyle specialist and stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 129.2 pounds and holds a perfect amateur record of 5 wins and no losses. Fighting out of Fortaleza, Brazil, Vinicius Morcego Pereira. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 124.9 pounds. And in his 20-fight amateur career, has built a record of 17 victories, 2 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Malek the Storm Basahel. Your referee in charge, Bashir Reda.
Referee is equipped with our ref cam, which means we can go inside the smart cage for a closer look at the action. Malek Basahel, he's in the blue trunks. Vinicius Pereira in the black.
Round one, fight!
First fight underway from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Sean O'Connell, Chael Sonnen, Randy Couture, cage side. Dan Hardy in the building as well. We'll hear from Josh Thompson, Amanda Guerra, and even Big John McCarthy joining us remote.
Football season just ended. They make such a big deal of home field advantage. Well, we got a home court advantage right now from Malik, who's in on a double.
Beautiful shot. Nice follow through. Drove, finished the takedown. Pereira trying to scramble. You notice both these guys wearing the puffy gloves. That's because this is an amateur outing. It's an 8-ounce glove rather than a 4-ounce glove that most of the pros will wear.
Great work by Pereira to get back to his feet. Now Basahel throws a strike and then drops for the takedown. First one, he just shot naked, Chael.
Malik's trying to, when he gets the takedown, he's trying to pass to the left and then correcting himself and going to the right. I think that's what gave Vinicius a little bit of time. There was nothing amateur about that scramble we just saw.
Beautiful shot, both of them as well.
We talk a lot about the level of activity you have to be comfortable with if you want to make it to the PFL Global season. It's 4 fights in about 7 months. Nice right hand from the top from Malek Basahel. This young man fought 12 times last year. 12 times. 11-1 in those 12 fights. 8 of those were finishes. He is not shy about activity.
Basahel comes from Jeddah, which is a fight center. There's a lot of fight gyms in that area. It's a port city here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A lot of great fighters are going to come from that region.
I'm very impressed with the position of Malik. He didn't just end up here. See that? He's working for it. He's working to make Vinicius guess. However, I'd like to see Malik striking a little bit more. There's a couple of times where he can create distance and come down with a little bit more ground and pound. It's a part he could add.
Going with the shoulder pressure here. He is going to need to be careful if Vinicius Pereira recovers that guard. Pereira has 3 submission victories of his 5 total wins. Don't forget, this is just the first bout of the night. We've got a pay-per-view card coming. ESPN Plus pay-per-view in the United States. DAZN pay-per-view. Go to DAZN.com if you're part of our worldwide audience. If you're in the U.S., ESPN.com/PFL. Buy the pay-per-view. Reina Ferreira, Ryan Bader in our main event later tonight.
That's it. Let some punches go now. Head up.
Randy, I'm not clear on what Pereira's strategy is here. I understand what Michelle's trying to do, but Pereira's really just slowed the match. I haven't seen him try to stand up. I haven't even seen him try to lock submissions.
I think Malik is trying to pass very different. You know, he's trying to work hard to pass.
We will see round 2 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. All right, these amateurs back to the corner. Malek Basahel, a strong round. Chael Sonnen, what is Vinicius Pereira's coach telling him right now?
I think first off, we know that Malik's going to come out with a takedown and specifically a double leg with his head to the right side. I'd like to see him push up. I'd like to see him scramble more. One of the great actions of the night was done defensively by Vinicius, but it seemed to take a little energy out, and I haven't seen him wanting to work that hard since.
It looked to me like Pereira was trying to work a high guard. He was trying to climb up in that mission control position, and Basahel wasn't having it. He just wasn't going to let it happen. He worked hard to pass, and he made Vinicius continue to scramble there.
Seconds out. Seconds out. Fighter, ready. Ready.
Malek Basahel, Saudi fighter in the blue. Vinicius Pereira all the way from Brazil in the black. Amateur showcase. You saw Basahel start the round with that leg kick. Pereira throws the right hand to try and make him pay for it, offers a right kick back. Oh, high kick to set up the shot for Malik Basahel.
So important that he threw that high kick. I love that he worked his hands a little bit there, only to keep Vinicius guessing, right? We knew the double leg was coming, but you got to disguise it. He did a good job right there.
Nice sweep by Pereira to get up off the bottom and create this scramble, get to the body lock.
The hard whizzer for Malik Basahel, but Pereira able to hang heavy down to the knees.
Basahel with the whizzer, trying to counter the body lock position from Pereira. Basahel wants to be careful here. Pereira is getting his back, got one hook in. He already stated he's got 3 submissions in his 5 victories.
There's that body triangle, the legs of Vinicius Pereira. Don't forget, sign up at DAZN.com to purchase the pay-per-view if you're part of our worldwide audience. ESPN.com/PFL if you're watching in the United States of America. Vinicius Pereira does have 3 submissions, as I mentioned in round number 1. Malik Basahel is going to have to find a way to extricate this Brazilian from his back.
Walsh trying to get his back onto the mat there. That's going to be option number 1. Option 2 is just to turn. Get chest to chest with him, but that body triangle is fairly tight.
Basahel's trying to go to the wrong side. He's got to switch and bring that locked in foot to the top side, and then he can turn in that lock.
Pierre's going to need to trick him a little bit here. Maybe feint an armbar, maybe throw a few punches at him to distract him. But if he just stays in this position, I really feel that Michelle's going to be able to stalemate it.
So maybe this, almost turned out, Basahel did. Very tight body lock from Pereira.
Yeah, it's not a lack of effort by Michelle. He put everything into that. His hips were trapped. You simply can't move if your hips are being controlled.
Final 30 seconds. These are amateur rounds, which means they only last for 3 minutes. Basahel once again trying to turn out.
He's committed to it. He's committed to this one.
He gets all the way, and now he's in the body lock guard of Vinicius Pereira, who eats a couple of left hands. Nice flurry from the top at the end here from Malik Basahel. Good right hand.
There's that grounded pound you were talking about, Chair.
The Saudi fans love what they saw at the end of that round from Malik Basahel. And look, Vinicius Pereira, he controlled most of that round, but didn't do a lot of damage, did threaten a little bit from the back, but good defense by Malik Basahel.
Here you see Malik Basahel trying to find a way to get out of this or turn in this body lock, and there he adjusts the foot and is able to turn all the way around, and he unleashes the grounded pound to finish out the round strong. More grounded pound coming from Malik.
Best shot of the night was that very last right hand Malik landed, and now you got a simple math issue. We've got 2 rounds in the books for Malik. Vinicius is going to need a finish, and guys, to get there, I believe he's got to stay on his feet.
Back for round 3 in our first bout of the evening. Malik Basahel in the blue trunks. Vinicius Pereira made the trip from Brazil here to Saudi Arabia. He is in the black. Switching in the stances here. Malik Basahel trying to give a different look, potentially disguise another shot.
I'll tell you one thing about Pierre right now is his legs could be feeling a little bit like jelly. One thing about that body triangle, why it might appear to the audience that there's not a lot of effort there, there is a lot of strain. And I don't know how light on his feet Pierre is going to be right now.
Lead hook, snatches the leg. Basahel once again on top of Vinicius Pereira. You see the development even in fight there, because the first shot we saw in round number 1, he threw it he shot from distance. He didn't disguise it behind any strikes. Ever since, he's improved on that. That's listening to your coaches.
Punching his way into those takedowns. Very impressed with the wrestling and transition skills of Basahel.
Yeah, look, Vinicius has two options here, guys. He can either scramble, get to his feet, try to land something, or he can look for the finish. I'm not sure he's committed to those finishes just yet. He still appears to me like he's looking for position, like he's got more time or more rounds. Time is ticking, gentlemen.
90 seconds left in this amateur bout. Basahel once again gets the legs and pulls Vinicius Pereira and the hips out. Once again into the guard. Malik Basahel, still an amateur, as we've mentioned several times, but already 20 fights in to his mixed martial arts career. An extensive level of amateur experience. After a performance like this, if he can win, might be time to go pro.
Basahel standing out of the guard of Pereira. Pereira back on his feet. Basahel right back in on the double A.
Randy, why do you suppose he stood up and let him up if he just wanted to take him back down? What do you think happened there? Was he feeling
maybe
something?
Just proving a point. It's hard to say. I mean, he's just taking him down at will.
First bout of the night here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Don't forget, if you want to see our main card, you have to purchase the pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com to purchase. If you're in the United States, ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL. That's how you find Champs versus Champs pay-per-view. Final 20 seconds. Good knee from Pereira up the middle, but it's Basahel on the pressure once again.
And we might have saw it right there, Chael. He let him up again, and he punched him 3 times as he stood up. Maybe that's what he wanted to do, to walk up into one of those big shots.
Nice short hook from Basahel. And a final shot.
Malik was not completely comfortable in the stand-up, and guys, I hope he gained some confidence in that fight, because he did well. He landed when he threw the hands on his feet.
Good display of sportsmanship there. Malik Basahel with his hands in the air. And the Saudi crowd loves that the local boy came through with a performance like that one. Here's your post-fight stats. You can see the accuracy and efficiency of Malik Basahel. He was not throwing any crazy strikes. He was mostly working his way into position for those takedowns. He did land 7 of 8 on the takedown attempts. Our referee has both fighters in the center of the smart cage. And look, Jail, one of the things I always watch for when I'm seeing these amateurs who get an opportunity in a stage like this is, does the pressure affect them or do they perform? I think Malik Basahel answered the call tonight.
He is certainly a good actor, if not. I mean, he's composed right now, as is Vinicius. I've got to tell you, maybe they could have put out a little bit more effort, but that's one of the things that you learn about in this fight. You learn pacing in this sport, no different than any other.
Vinicius Pereira came into tonight 5-0. Malik Basahel 17 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest as we await the judges' scorecards. Waiting for this judge's decision, I see Andy Shepard climbing back into the smart cage. Usually a good indication that the cards are in his hand.
I think what impressed me most was Basahel's transition skills. Those takedowns were very, very impressive. And I don't know if that was an indication of he didn't want to stand and strike with Pereira or he just wanted to prove a point.
The voice of our smart cage, Andy Shepard, with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges scored this bout 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Malek the Storm Basahel!
So Malek Basahel, making his PFL debut, earns his 18th career win. Dan Hardy has the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Saudi Arabia's own Malek Basahel. My friend, how are you feeling after that performance?
مالك شو شعورك بعد هاي المنافسة القوية ضد your opponent Vinicius?
I felt good. He missed weight by 3 pounds, I think, so we had to make it catch weight, but a fight is a fight, and I came and tried my best.
He said that he came in prepared. He lost a couple of punches. He missed a couple of punches, but he came prepared, and he's ready to take on the next fight.
Malek, so you're the only amateur fight on this card, and we've had other great amateurs fight for PFL, the likes of Piaggio, Ali Walsh, who's turning pro today. You've had a lot of amateur fights. When do you think you'll be turning professional?
في عندك كثير amateur fights. واكيد في عندك استعدادات للبرو فايتس القادمه، كيف انت استعداداتك لهاي البطولات اللي راح تحضرها ان شاء الله؟
So we signed as an amateur. We signed an amateur contract for 1 year. So this is my first time fighting amateur in PFL. So it depends on my team, depends on my coach Danny, who's here with me, and the team at AVT. When they want me to turn pro, I'll turn pro. If they want me to stay an amateur, I'll stay an amateur.
هو اكيد مستعد زي ما حكى مالك. هو هلا مبسوط وفخور باستعداداته وادائه في الاماتشور، بس اكيد كله بيرجع للتيم تبعه. اذا التيم تبعه هو حابب انه هو ينتقل الى البرو كومبيتيشن، هو اكيد جاهز.
Congratulations on a fantastic performance.
بس حاب اشكر كل احد جاء تشجعني، اصحابي، اهلي، والاتحاد السعودي للمي. والله يعطيكم الف عافيه. هي زبد بس.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Storm, Malek Basahel.
Malek Basahel starts off for the hometown fans. Abdullah Al-Qahtani has already marched to the PFL Smart Cage twice. He makes his third trip tonight. The Ripper, Abdullah Al-Qahtani, the first PFL fighter to represent his home country of Saudi Arabia, a rising star from an emerging scene in the mixed martial arts world.
Oh, that landed on the money.
Al-Qahtani is just teeing off.
Quick, sharp, laser-focused, beautiful striking on display from Al-Qahtani.
Abdullah Al-Qahtani with a tight squeeze.
There's the tap.
Abdullah Al-Qahtani with a victory.
I'm here with local favorite, Abdullah Al-Qahtani. What's it like to finally fight in your hometown of Riyadh?
Hi. You know, now I'm here in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, in my hometown. I'm going to fight in PFL. This is something big. All the people is here for me, and all the fans is here. You know, I feel great now.
You're going to feel that extra energy from the crowd. We heard them at the weigh-ins. You're the only person and fighter that got the pop at the weigh-ins. How'd that feel?
You know, I feel like good energy. I feel like a push to be the champ, to be the winner. This is something good.
So your opponent's also a striker. You're a dynamic striker. I've seen your fights. Super aggressive. You walk forward and lay it all on the line. How do you expect this fight to go tonight?
You know, I feel I'm the best striker in the world, and let's see who's the best there.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, for what?
Big thanks to Josh Thompson for catching up backstage with Abdullah Al-Qahtani. He is 7-1 so far in his mixed martial arts career. And look, we can't avoid it. A lot of the hopes of the future mixed martial arts and the rising scene in this country rest on his shoulders. Does he have what it takes to carry that?
I think so far he's showing that he does. He's got great skill sets. He showed us certainly some prowess in the striking realm in MMA. I think he's got a very, very bright future.
Historic event, and you can see the gorgeous outdoor setup they gave us here at Kingdom Arena for our Champs versus Champs card. Crowd filtering in. It is a sold-out show tonight. Make sure you go to ESPN.com/PFL for your pay-per-view or DAZN.com to sign up for the pay-per-view. Amanda Guerra standing by.
Hey guys, I want to talk about our co-main event coming up tonight. We have Johnny Eblen, the middleweight champ of Bellator, going up against Kasanganay, moving back down to middleweight after becoming the lightweight champion. Here's a story not many people know. Of course, a lot of people know that he got his start in fighting late in his career. Well, his dad came over to the United States from the Republic of Congo when he was just 24 years old with $16 in his pocket. His dad went on to be an engineer. His mom went on to be a nurse. Because of that, they're very into education, not sports. In fact, Impa had to sneak onto the football team his senior year when his parents found out they were none too pleased. He went to college, had an offer to go get his CPA when he was working at a tech company. But he says that day was the day he decided to become a fighter. He quit that job, went to work at a grocery store, went home to tell his parents. They didn't love it, so he struck a deal with his dad. He said, give me 2 years to make a name for myself. If I can't do it in 2 years, I will go become a CPA. Well, after 2 years, Impa said, I thought I was out of time. I didn't think it was enough. Well, after a little while, he got to the PFL Challenger Series. His dad sent him a message that said, go get it. He knew he had his parents' support, and that was all he needed. Of course, we saw what happened within a year. He went from living in and out of his car to winning $1 million and becoming a champion. Can't wait to see him fight Johnny Eblen later tonight on the main card. Back to you guys.
Our main event tonight, our co-main event tonight, our Champs versus Champs main card tonight is only available on pay-per-view. For your worldwide audience, that means DAZN.com. That's how you sign up to purchase. If you're watching in the United States of America, it's ESPN Plus or ESPN.com/PFL. Buy the pay-per-view and watch history made in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Representing Saudi Arabia, Malik Basahel. One fight is out of the way. We've got 10 more.
We've talked a lot about the main event, Reina Pereira, Ryan Bader. High stakes there. The winner of that will fight Francis Ngannou when Francis Ngannou finishes dominating the boxing world and comes back to the PFL Smart Cage. Great main event. Obviously, we just heard Amanda talking about Impa Kasanganay. Johnny Eblen, his opponent, is highly regarded. Regarded, I think, a lot of people in and around the sport as the best middleweight in the world. He's still undefeated. I mean, he's a big-time star and had no hesitation in taking on a light heavyweight who was willing to fight against him.
Yeah, I love everything that you're saying. Hey, the way we're opening this show up, AJ McKee, move for move, is probably the most talented guy that Bellator has. If you want to, who understands the punches, the kicks, the groundwork, it's AJ McKee. Clay Collard is the most exciting guy on the card tonight. I really feel it. Now, I'm just personalizing, telling you my own opinion. One thing that Clay Collard will not do, and that is back down. One thing he will not do is leave his skills in the back and be impressed with the resume and or the record of his opponent tonight is AJ McKee.
You bring up an excellent point, and Randy, maybe this is just part of Clay Collard's personality, but whenever someone goes against Clay Collard, who's supposed to be the next big thing, whether it's in boxing, when we saw him doing that during the pandemic, mixed martial arts, oh, the PFL signs Anthony Pettis. Pettis is supposed to be the next big thing, and it's always Clay Collard who spoils the party.
He just has one of those personalities that just rises to the occasion, loves to be the spoiler, the fly in the ointment, if you will, and he brings that amazing striking. Just that, man, the competitive spirit that guy has is so much fun to watch.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Educonda.
Abdullah Al-Qahtani, representing his hometown of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, lives here, trains here, has a bunch of fans here. He'll face that man, Educonda, making his PFL debut. All 4 of his wins have come via finish, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He spent time in pro kickboxing, and very interestingly, he was territorial when we talked to him in the fighter meetings. He says, I'm gonna come in, I'm going to claim my place in Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna spoil this party for the locals. And one interesting thing about him, MMA, the acronym, he's most focused on the A, the art of this sport.
As a mixed martial artist, it's like it's a martial art. It's an art. I can show my art through fighting. It's an art. I can show my art through fighting. Just like in chef, how he cooks, a painter, how he paints. It's for me art. I can cut angles. I can move around and beat up people. When I see myself in a camera or a video, I feel wow, yes, I can do this. So this is my way of showing my showing of art. Yeah.
And in the red corner, Abdullah Al-Qahtani.
Abdullah Al-Qahtani waving the Saudi flag as he makes his way down the runway. 7-1 as a pro, and perhaps more importantly, already 2-0 inside the PFL Smart Cage. He's been on this stage, showcase fights last season, rose to the occasion both times, but doing it in front of the hometown fans, I imagine, feels a little more pressure tonight, Randy.
Yeah, I think there's probably some butterflies going on, walking out here on this beautiful stage in this beautiful arena in front of his hometown crowd.
He carries his whole community into the Smart Cage with him tonight.
Every time I fight outside Saudi Arabia, but now, like, you know, it's like family. I need to let my family happy and let my people happy. It's something big. It's not just me. It's not me who fight in this fight. No, me and all the people, all the Saudis, all the Arabian, all people who love me. He gonna fight with me in this fight. They gonna put the energy and put everything with me. When I listen him to support me, it's something big. Let me to be the best. Yeah.
Here's a look at the tail of the tape for our second bout of the evening. This a pro contest at 145 pounds. Abdullah Al-Qahtani, 26. Educando Rao is 30 years of age. Al-Qahtani, the taller fighter here, slightly heavier, and you can see longer arms belong to Abdullah Al-Qahtani. Slight reach advantage on the legs there for Rao. Take a look at the keys to victory here once again, Chael Sonnen.
All right, listen, for our hometown boy, we need ferocity. Okay, he does his best work when there's chaos and when he gets the takedowns early. If he can get on his opponent's back, he can finish, but he can also transition to a very beautiful armbar. And when you're looking at our guest, Rao, he needs to be ready for a fast start. I love how Rao fights in rounds 2. I love how he fights in rounds 3. I have not historically loved his start. He needs to also feint kicks. That's what's going to open up the hands. And if he does get put down in his guard, not waste time. He's got a habit of hanging on and holding. He needs to start a scramble.
Andy Shepard, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following fight is a featherweight showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a kickboxing specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 145.7 pounds and holds a professional record of 4 wins and 1 loss. Fighting out of Andhra Pradesh, India, Educando Rao. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He went in officially at 146 pounds and has built a record of 7 victories and a single defeat. Fighting out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Ripper, Abdullah Al-Qahtani. Your referee in charge, Brian Minor.
Brian Minor to oversee the action. Abdullah Al-Qahtani is in the black trunks. Educando Rao is in the white.
Good. Well, these guys can't wait to get at each other.
Southpaw stance here for Rao, who opens early with an inside leg kick. Al-Qahtani offers one back and immediately lands a right hand. Now the body lock.
Rao needs to dig inside here, get his hips back if he can. Good balance so far. He's using that fence to stay up. Good, Rao pulls him up. That was good defense.
Very nice balance by Rao. I thought he was going down, and he pulled that out.
Over-unders here and chest to chest. Al-Qahtani doing some work on the legs with those knees. Rao looked to step across for a toss, but thought better of it.
Rao's last fight, you might find it interesting, was at 155 pounds. Yesterday, he weighed in for this fight at 145. He says he's on his way down to 135.
There's the body lock by Al-Qahtani.
Muscles Rao down to the ground. Now Rao trying to climb that guard up.
John, when Randy would find himself in a top position like that, he would turn his opponent instantly, get their head touching the fence, and all of a sudden use that fence as a tag team partner. Al-Qahtani wanting to do that, but perhaps hasn't quite been shown the pressure from this position yet.
Already a little blood from the nose of Educando Rao. Al-Qahtani with plenty of time to work on top.
Nice job by Rao to slip that bottom leg out. It's like taking off a pantyhose and standing up. Al-Qahtani going to stay right in the clinch, right back to the body lock.
Hips by Rao. Frankly, that stand-up wasn't even done picture perfect. He just made it work. There was real good athleticism by Rao, and I'm glad to see him staying busy on bottom. Good strikes here by both men.
Rao
now. Nice big leg kick.
In an orthodox stance instead of that southpaw. Oh, nasty right hand at the end of a combination again from Al-Qahtani. Spinning kick just misses for Rao.
If Rao is going to continue to favor those kicks, he has got to start doing what we call slow.
Al-Qahtani's in trouble.
Educando Rao dropped Al-Qahtani, who wrestles out of it to a top position.
That was an opportunity for Rao. That was a missed opportunity. He's the one that should have finished this on top.
He's bleeding. You got him. Make him down from there.
Couple of elbows from the bottom for Educando Rao. Al-Qahtani head on the chest, trying to recover still. Now gets some elevation.
Not often you see the guy that gets dropped recover on top.
No damage.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking that from the judge's standpoint. Referee Brian Miner says that's fair game.
That was almost an illegal up kick.
Al-Qahtani is a grounded opponent on his knees there, so even the up kick from the bottom can be called a foul.
You know what is to be done from here.
Doesn't call it.
It missed. Went right past Al-Qahtani's face. The fact that he attempted it, it would have been a foul if it had landed.
Surprise him.
Sign up at DAZN.com to purchase the pay-per-view. Scan the QR code. Go to ESPN.com/PFL. Pay-per-view card coming later. We are in the second bout of the evening here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Abdullah Al-Qahtani, Saudi fighter on top. Nice hammer fist. Educando Rao once again closes the guard.
I'd like to see Rao bring a knee in here. I'd like to see him create separation. I was so impressed with the stand-up he did about 3 minutes ago, but he hasn't gone back to it. And this is one thing that I've seen him do in other fights. He'll waste a little bit of time on the ground. There's no time to waste, particularly now. All the way up, Rao.
Look how exhausted he is. Feet on the hips and kicked Al-Qahtani away. Tries a lancing left hand there. Big breaths here from Educando Rao, who goes chest to chest again. The knees are missing, now one straight up the middle. Al-Qahtani offers one back and marches Educando Rao back to the smart cage barrier. Now to the back. Big toss! Abdullah Al-Qahtani belly to back.
Rao's still moving. I tell you, I see him on his feet. I get a little concerned here. I thought the energy was fading, but when it's time to scramble, he is still in this fight for now.
Nice pass by Al-Qahtani. Rao getting his legs right back in the fight, though. Rao seems to have some power. When he stood up and landed that left hand, that hurt Al-Qahtani again. Didn't wobble him, didn't drop him, but definitely landed a clean shot.
Final few seconds of the round. Interesting back and forth. And you can see a little fatigue on the face and body language of Eduardo Rao.
That's straight left hand right on the cheek of Al-Qahtani, puts him on his pants, uses his wrestling to take him down. There's the left hand there after Rao stood up. It landed solid. Here comes the belly to back. Go ahead, Chael.
Oh, what goes up must come down. Rao tucked his chin on that, thank goodness, but I'll tell you what, Al-Qahtani with a little Greco-Roman wrestling, they're always nice to see.
Randy Couture calls those frequent flyer miles.
That's right.
And you never know how the judges are going to look at that. I will just tell you from a personal perspective, I thought it looked pretty good.
So an interesting round to score because Rao scored the knockdown. And then, of course, Al-Qahtani recovered, spent a lot of time on top, did great work on top. Both men had their moments in round number 2.
The referee needs to see that door is still open. All right, hey guys, I want to tell you one thing about Rao, just in case he comes out leg kick heavy like he did in the previous round. He's got to start stepping off line. Al-Qahtani throws it straight down the middle every time Rao throws a kick, and Rao's the one that ends up paying for it.
Couple of kicks, but not to the leg. Third kick of this round now for Eduardo Rao. Nice 1-2 from Abdullah Al-Qahtani.
Rao's still showing some signs of fatigue. He's got the wobble. Guys get tired. You see that little wobble in their legs and their head.
A lot of grit here from Eduardo Rao. Oh, good trip.
Nice. Very nice body lock trip by Al-Qahtani. And some hammer fists now from Al-Qahtani from cross-side position.
He's thinking he can finish this. Al-Qahtani's starting to open up a little bit here. Rao pulling pressure on the head. If Al-Qahtani can get his head free, separate, get some space, he's going to need a little bit more power in those shots for referee Brian Miner to stop it.
Nice elbow from the top. Abdullah Al-Qahtani taking advantage of the rule set change here.
Rao doing a good job of getting his legs in the fight. Pulling guard. Now trying to climb with those legs. Al-Qahtani with the hammer fist.
Hey, he's looking to get him out of here, Randy. How much energy does Al-Qahtani have? I mean, that's a lot of strikes. They accumulate, but for both guys.
I think he sees the wobble, he smells the fatigue, and he's turning up the pace. That's exactly what I would do.
Good left hand work here from Abdullah Al-Qahtani in side control. Cross body. Rao trying to stay in this fight, getting his legs back involved.
Qahtani going to need a little more separation for the power needed to get a TKO here, but I see what he's going for. I see that he thought there was opportunity. He tried to seize it. You can do very good ground and pound even from a guy's guard, but only if you create separation first. That begins with getting control of the wrist, and that's one thing Al-Qahtani's not doing.
Hammer fist down the middle. Al-Qahtani might have heard Chael Sonnen cage side because he immediately grabbed that wrist. We talked to Rao about his nickname, Eel Badger. Badger not good enough, eel not good enough. He goes Eel Badger, two fearsome animals. A chimera of sorts.
That was a classic explanation in the fighter interview.
Al-Qahtani says, you know what? This ground and pound's not working. Stand up and let me put my hands on you.
Again, I think he smells the fatigue here. Oh, beautiful spinning.
I tell you what, every time I think Eduardo Rao is gassed, he explodes again, but so does Abdullah Al-Qahtani for another takedown.
Yeah, Rao's got things he can work on, but being a quitter is not one of them. This guy did come to fight.
Control him. Keep moving. Keep your head moving.
Sean, in my Team Quest days, before I would have a fight, Randy Couture would always tell me to imagine that the mat is hot, the mat is like lava. Now that expression is for when you get taken down and your back is against it. Say where Rao is out now. To that you have an urgency, that you hurry, you create space, you get back to your feet. Maybe you scoot over to the fence, get an underhook, do something to scramble back up. That's one thing when Rao watches this later. If I could offer him something, that is one thing that he really does need to work on.
I appreciate the explanation, but I have a 4-year-old, so I know the floor is lava quite well. Abdullah Al-Qahtani working on the body.
You know, I must tell you, I'm a little disappointed. You're telling me Randy did not make that up? I thought that was a Randy. I thought he coined it. What do you mean you know? You mean Randy also told you? And now you tell the 4-year-old?
This 4-year-old?
Head kick misses there. Randy is old enough to have invented floor is lava. And here's that body lock again.
He has made a living from this position in this fight.
I want Rao to pummel in. I like Rao on his feet. I want to see him pummel and get those hips back. He does a very good job here.
Great action in this fight. More action to come on our pay-per-view card. Sign up at DAZN.com to purchase the pay-per-view. If you're in the United States, it's ESPN Plus or ESPN.com/PFL. Nice elbow from Al-Qahtani as they break in the final 20 seconds of this third round. Educando Rao says, I still got more for you.
It's almost like drunken kung fu from Rao. He looks wobbly like he's going to go down, and then he rips a straight one right at your head.
Well, he says he's an artist. Might be a little Jackson Pollock in his style. We will hear the final bell and get a decision.
Oh, right here. One thing about Rao, I didn't love where his chin was. I didn't love that his hands weren't always up. I think that he took a little bit of damage, particularly when he would throw kicks. He's left standing on one foot. He needs to step off just a little bit. Al-Qahtani didn't leave anything to waste. So watch this body lock. Now this is the second attempt. He was thinking belly to back again. The fence got a little bit in his way. More of the same. Anytime they were stood up, you were seeing some exchanges. You would see Al-Qahtani close the distance as quickly as he could. And each time that Al-Qahtani was able to get his hands locked on his feet, he was also able to find a takedown.
I got to apologize to our audience. There's been so much action in this fight. I thought we were already through round number 3. Abdullah Al-Qahtani in the black, Educando Rao in the white. Doctor checking him out. Rao wants to continue. Referee and doctor both agree that he can. Third and final frame now.
I'm interested who called for the doctor. Generally, that won't happen unless there's blood involved. Perhaps there was a poke in the eye that a corner wanted to see. And there, Al-Qahtani making it pay again. Rao has got to put that chin down. Al-Qahtani getting it nice and tight.
Jill, I think it's the wobble we're seeing from Rao that caused the doctor to want to look at it. Nice left hand sneaks in, and the referee waves it off. A big finish for Al-Qahtani on home soil.
That's the right call.
Yeah, he was in serious trouble.
Sean, I believe you called it exactly right. I believe it was the wobble. I believe that is why the doctor was there. We saw more wobble. We saw a stoppage. A lot of referees won't stop a mixed martial arts fight when they're on their feet. That was the correct call.
Second knockout victory of Abdullah Al-Qahtani's career. Beautiful performance. Makes good on the hometown opportunity. Randy, we talked about the pressure he must be feeling. Yes, he's been on this stage before, but not in front of the friends and family, not in front of all the expectations of these people who've been watching his entire career. Abdullah Al-Qahtani rises to the occasion against a very game Educando Rao.
Absolutely. Did it in stellar fashion. Great ground and pound, great pounds, controlled every position.
And look at the volume. in these post-fight stats. Look at that, 166 strikes thrown. He landed 142, and the grounded pound. These two fighters packed a lot of action in to 2+ rounds. So you want to talk about action? How about that? Mike Tyson in the building. You know what I really love? I love when a VIP shows up for the early portion of the card. That shows respect to the fighter.
I fully agree with that. And hey, MMA has embraced Mike Tyson in ways that I'm not even sure boxing does. The guys love to see him.
But Mike Tyson has embraced MMA as well.
100%.
He's doing jiu-jitsu, he's training.
100%.
He loves the sport.
That's right. But I mean, the promoters, the guy, Francis Ngannou, I believe, is training with him, at least paid a homage to him from admiring him, watching him as a kid. I just share for you. It's really nice. It's a really beautiful thing to see the relationship between the community and Iron Mike.
Iron Mike's gym here is really, really cool. I got to go to the grand opening here for when Francis fought. Really, really nice gym.
Okay, so I'm just keeping track of the legends at Kingdom Arena, our outdoor setup. We got Randy here, as always, okay? Dan Hardy is in the building. Josh Thompson is around. We got John McCarthy on the broadcast. Chael Sonnen is here. Francis Ngannou is going to be showing up at some point. Backstage in the corner, Vadim Nemkov, who we'll see on our pay-per-view card. We have Fedor Emelianenko. I mean, if you want to be one of the baddest men on the planet, this is the building you got to be in. You want to measure it? That's happening here.
By the way, Randy, do you and Fedor get along? Have you guys ever said hello?
Always, absolutely.
All right.
Saw him at the weigh-ins and gave me a big hug.
I know our community tried to get you guys to fight at one point, but I'm glad that you guys can also be
I was never that guy that had animosity towards anybody I fought, and he's not that guy either. So we always got along.
Sure.
He's a great guy.
Let's take a look at some replays. The end of the fight, and you already gave credit to the referee, but this is really good work by fighter and the guy overseeing fighter safety.
Sure. Now, Qahtani right here, look, he knew he had him hurt, and it's an effort issue. Do I want to play the game and run out the clock, or do I want to try to finish this fight? He made a very clear decision. I mean, he really put his foot down on the gas. There's our great referee, Brian Miner, and he's seeing the wobbling. He's seeing the damage being taken without a return by Rauau. The golden rule, you must protect yourself at all times. That wasn't happening. That is the right call. I'm proud of our referee for having the courage to step in and break that up.
3-0 in the PFL Smart Cage. That young man and his coaches and the crowd behind the coaches. A lot of those tickets, by the way, were sold because Abdullah Al-Qahtani was put on this early card. We'll make this one official with Andy Shepard inside the PFL Smart Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Brian Miner calls a halt to the action at 23 seconds of round number 3, declaring your winner via TKO, Abdullah Al-Qahtani!
Abdullah Al-Qahtani continues to impress. Makes it 3-0, 8-1 overall, 2 knockouts. Dan Hardy is with our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen of Saudi Arabia, I am here with your champion, Abdullah Al-Qahtani. What a fantastic fight that was, my friend.
Assalamu alaikum, Saudiya. Alhamdulillah, سويناه بين أرض وجمهور. اللهم لك الحمد. شكرا لوجودكم كلكم هنا. حمسوني وشجعتوني. لولاكم ما كنت وصلت هنا. شكرا سعودية.
That was a really tough fight. He was a very durable opponent. Was that a surprise for you? Did you think you were going to be able to stop him first round?
Look, I want to stop him in the first round, but I go like the plan with my coach, with my team, and yeah, you see what happened.
And what about this event? What about being able to perform in Saudi Arabia in front of these amazing people?
You know, I'm so happy here. I feel all these people, it's with me, like we fight like one man army. Yeah.
And what about mixed martial arts in Saudi Arabia? It's clearly on the rise. Superstars like you on the rise. What's next for you?
Yeah, what's next for me? Maybe it's a surprise today. They're gonna say something here, and yeah, I'm in. And soon I will back in the cage and make something crazy like today.
We have some good news to announce very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Abdullah Al-Qahtani.
Wait a second. I was not apprised of what that good news was going to be. Now I need to know.
And Dan Hardy knows, right? I mean, they're kind of keeping something from us.
How does Dan Hardy know, but we don't? That just seems backwards, but Abdullah Al-Qahtani, an incredible performance in Riyadh. Kelsey DeSantis, the United States Marine, getting ready. Final touches on the tape job. We will see her making her PFL debut very shortly.
You think Don Davis and Pete Murray don't love our fans? Then how do you explain this right here? This is the fight. This is one of the top fights I came out here for. At the press conference, this was the girl I personally wanted to meet. I watched her win the Olympics not once. I watched her win the gold medal for the country twice. That is an excellent athlete.
They call her the GOAT for a reason. Back in the smart cage tonight.
Bellator tonight. I can do whatever I put my mind to. You know, not just in boxing, but just any combat sport. Every day that you work towards something that you'll get 1% better. I'm just dangerous all around. I wouldn't want to meet me in the street fight.
Oh, big right hand. Flurry here from Shields.
Back to her feet. Nice job.
After an adrenaline.
Oh, nice right hand.
Nice jump. Wow. Shields pulls it out. For the top, Clarissa Shields.
Whatever you do, never give up.
See some more fans, here we go. I've got some more t-shirts. I've got my friend over here. All the way to the top, I love the energy over there.
Coming up, Clarissa Shields, Kelsey DeSantis.
Let's go hand to the air.
Clarissa Shields, Randy, very interesting to talk to her about the reasoning, right? A lot of people say, oh, you know, women are making more money in mixed martial arts right now than they are in boxing. And for a lot of women, that's very true. Not for Clarissa Shields. She's not here because she needs to pay the bills with PFL money. She's here because she wants to challenge herself after running through the competition in boxing, showing that she's a dominant world champion in 3 weight classes, 2-time Olympic champion, as Chael mentioned. She's simply doing this to see if she can excel martial arts world championship. She's not just here to participate.
No, that is her long-term goal, to be a champion in this sport as well. So that when she's retired and she's got her grandkids on her knee, she can tell them she was the baddest woman on the planet, not just in boxing, but in combative sports across the board.
PFL versus Bellator in fight number 3.
I'm always fascinated by that notion, right? There are people sport, right? Not a lot of job prospects outside of it. Maybe this is the place where your real talents show through. There are some people who make plenty of money doing the fight thing. They can retire, but yet they still come back because there's that little beast inside of you that wants to know, are you better than the man or woman
get up them and they will meet it with resistance, and that is the most impressive thing for me about Clarissa Shields. The most impressive thing. Hey, by the way, DeSantis' music didn't even hit. She just came to the ring. I don't know if that's an accident or if that's a preview. I've seen fighters make the opponent wait. I've never seen an opponent go early.
Kelsey DeSantis wants to be in
That's
here.
That's a Marine right there. She just stormed the beach.
Yes,
right
she did.
there.
Randy Couture versus Vitor Belfort. I remember where I was when Randy was standing in the ring waiting. We didn't know where Vitor was. But this is reverse. She went first.
Kelsey DeSantis says, I'm not waiting any longer. I am inside this smart cage. Bring out Clarissa Shields.
Making their way to the PFL Smart Cage in the red corner. To the PFL Smart Cage in the red corner, Claressa Shields.
Claressa Shields will follow the American flag. Two-time Olympic boxing gold medalist. Three-time, three-division champion in professional boxing. 1-1 so far in her mixed martial arts career. And then the fighter meetings looked at us and said, well, you thought because I lost my last one, I was gonna tuck my tail and run away? Seemed actually upset that anyone would even entertain that thought.
Said she's been doing her camp, Claressa Shields said she's been doing her camp in East Lansing, Michigan with a new team. Been working a lot on her kicks and checking kicks, her footwork, and MMA for footwork, which is much different than footwork for boxing. Very interesting the things she's been working on.
Kelsey DeSantis, 35 years of age. Claressa Shields is 28. DeSantis is 1 inch taller. Both women came in at that 165-pound catch weight, slightly under. Slight reach advantage on the arms, favoring Claressa Shields. Chael Sonnen, give me your keys to victory one more time.
Oh, Claressa Shields got to keep this on her feet. Look, to do that, she's going to need some footwork. Okay, she's going to need to avoid the clinch. Don't even get there. Keep your back off the fence. Don't forget this is a world-class boxer. Her first punches are to set you up. It's that second and third shot that's looking to finish her. And for Kelsey, nothing surprising here. She needs to switch those stances, because what that does is it prompts Claressa to believe that a kick is coming, not knowing if the hands or the feet are coming. It's a big advantage that Kelsey's got. Not to mention, she needs to early weather the storm, particularly early. Claressa Shields is not happy about her last fight. She's looking to prove something in just a minute.
The following fight is a special showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 164.6 pounds and holds a record of 1 win and 2 losses. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, Kelsey DeSantis. And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in officially at 164.4 pounds and holds a pro MMA record of 1 victory and 1 defeat. She comes to the cage as a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-division boxing world champion. Fighting out of Flint, Michigan, the GOAT, Claressa Shields. Your referee in charge, Kerry Hatley.
Kerry Hatley will oversee the action. Claressa Shields in the blue, Kelsey DeSantis in the black and white.
All right, ladies, this is what you work.
A kick.
This is interesting. Shields' footwork already is interesting, guy. Okay, now she's starting to move just a little bit, but she came out a moment ago and planted her feet.
I think that little kick attempt got her attention.
Randy, you and I both had Olympic fever. I mean, come on, we're looking at a 2-time gold medalist. This is something real special here in Shields, right in front of us.
This is the 3rd fight I've seen Claressa fight, and she is very impressive. Her willingness to put herself in some uncomfortable positions in something she's never done before is very commendable.
Showing the jab. So far hasn't committed really to anything. She did offer a kick attempt. Oh, nasty right hand. And now Claressa Shields is swinging away.
Fighting is all about range. She's got to find that range where she can get into those exchanges. Obviously, DeSantis is trying to stay out of that kicking range. Make sure Shields can't reach her with those hands.
Claressa appears to be deliberate in not pumping that jab as much as she had in the past. It's almost like she maybe saw this as an opportunity. There's another good straight. DeSantis has the clinch. She needs to do something with it here, Randy.
Shields did a nice job of framing off on the head of DeSantis and turning the tide and spinning DeSantis to the fence.
And Claressa Shields made a point in the fighter meetings to talk about this. She says it's not just stand-up and not just groundwork. There's a third fight in mixed martial arts that she had to learn about, and that was this: clinch work, cage work. It can be incredibly exhausting, and knowing what to do here is something that she prides herself on learning.
Good defense by
Kelsey
Claressa.
DeSantis tried to step across. Shields negates it. And now throws a left hand up over the guard, offering some knees. Let's hear from Big John McCarthy. We haven't checked in with Big John. Big John, it's a totally different rule set for Claressa Shields. Is she adapting well in her third fight?
I think she's adapting beautifully. You don't see boxers going to MMA. You see MMA fighters going to boxing because that's part of what they train in. But right here is where Claressa Shields is in a position where boxers never want to be. Take a look where she's at and look at she's calm. That's the most important thing. Take your time, think yourself out of the position, and get yourself back to your feet.
She's got the right side underhook. Well, left side, correct side underhook, I should say. Her left underhook under Kelsey DeSantis, who now tries to work from the top.
By the way, in this showcase bout, there will be no elbows.
I do admire the calmness of Claressa. What's more surprising to me is that Kelsey isn't sensing the opportunity she has right here. She's not looking to pass from this position. I'm wondering if that's strategic or if a couple of those shots by Claressa got through and Kelsey's shaking the cobwebs. Either way, I'm a little surprised that Kelsey isn't looking to advance here. I would think this is where her and her team wanted this match to go.
It would appear that she could, if she wanted to, slide that right leg through to a full mount potentially. Now pushing Claressa Shields back against the cage right in front of her own corner.
We saw Shields in her first MMA fight against Brittany Elkin get fully mounted and stay very composed and find a way to work herself out of that position to win the fight.
Final minute of this first round. Catchweight bout between Claressa Shields, who now is mounted. Kelsey DeSantis has 1 minute to work from this mount position.
And here again, Kelsey is being deliberate. She's taking a deep breath. John McCarthy just said, stay calm, find a way out of a position. Kelsey's doing the opposite. She's staying calm. Okay, she's looking at armbar.
Here's an armbar attempt from Kelsey DeSantis. She fell back on it.
Chris is pushing that toe. She actually wants to push the leg off of her head.
DeSantis does have some good extension, but maybe her hip's not quite deep enough on the arm of Claressa Shields, who now...
Claressa could just push up one more time and come all the way over.
Close to getting out of there.
Oh, that arm is bending a little bit the wrong way, but Claressa Shields refusing to tap. Now getting her legs involved, climbing over the head of Kelsey DeSantis in these final seconds of round number one. Big threat from DeSantis.
Don't kick the face. Do not kick the face. Stop.
If you ever want to have a conversation of is Claressa serious or she just here have a conversation of is Claressa serious or she just here for a paycheck, that answers the question. She's serious. There's a lot of people, and most people in fact would have found a way out in that armbar. She found a way to stay in to this fight.
Absolutely correct.
Right here's a very scary feeling. If you're not used to being in this position, right here is very vulnerable. Now, Claressa wants to actually push that foot off. She doesn't know enough about that. She just saw some toes and started shoving, hoping to create something. But at one point, Claressa does think a little more calm. She does think about sitting up. She does think about bringing her hips and trying to step over Kelsey's head. Look, it's the introductory level. It's white belt level. But this is a mastery in being tough and being a competitor. I am very impressed right now.
You can see even on the regrip here, Claressa Shields refuses to tap. And we see round number two.
Oh, there we go. Whoa, whoa.
I'm going to guess you're going to see Claressa Shields let her hands go at the start of this round.
One thing about Claressa that we learned in her first fight, those grappling exchanges tend to upset her a little bit as we open round number 2. It's Shields with right hand in the combination in the blue. Kelsey DeSantis is in the black and white.
Well, Randy called that one right. I mean, Shields walking her down as well. Look, I'd like to see Shields if she could fight her. I'd like to see her keeping Kelsey's back up against the fence. Every inch of ground that Claressa gets is bad news. Every inch she takes is very wide.
Nice sprawl.
Claressa, no jab at all. She led with a cross on that one.
Yep, straight 2, right down the pipe.
Randy, tell me about the mentality coming out for both of these fighters, because if you're Kelsey DeSantis, you want a nice body shot from Claressa. If you're DeSantis, you got Claressa Shields down where you wanted her, you got the tight submission attempt, and it bears no fruit. And if you're Claressa Shields, you got yourself in trouble and you survived. I mean, it's a different mindset for each fighter coming in.
I think we're seeing the warrior spirit of Claressa Shields here. She didn't like where she was at in that first round. She was going to come out now in the second round and change that. I've seen a little fatigue in DeSantis, a little hesitation here. She knows where she wants to be, but she's not working to get herself there.
And in these combinations, DeSantis starting to turn away when she feels that power of Claressa Shields. That's not something you can do often and get away with it against a 2-time Olympic champion in boxing.
Again, nice framing by Claressa. DeSantis trying to get where she needs to be.
Just misses with the big right hand. You can see the speed and power of Claressa Shields' hands. So far, Kelsey DeSantis able to avoid, though, the true knockout shot.
Shields back into the center. DeSantis back into the cage. DeSantis wants to use that fence and try and trap her and try and catch her and knock her down, trip her again. Shields backing her out into the striking.
I think Shields has surprised herself a couple of times. She's connected and almost not gone with the flurry. But I also have to admire that patience. When she dipped to the body, she came back upstairs. She's doing what she wants to do, and she's staying composed. That's tough. When you come from boxing background, another shovel hook to the body. Sean, you ever been hit with one of those? Right there in the body like that? Oh, my goodness.
I have. A time or two. I didn't get hit often, Chael, but when I did, it hurt.
Yeah, Sean's head movement was amazing.
Claressa Shields once again, the right hand starting.
DeSantis taking him, boy.
There's another right hand that sneaks just over that guarding hand for Kelsey DeSantis.
There's the body lock.
And once again, DeSantis, with 2 minutes left, able to drag Claressa Shields down. But for how long?
She's going to have to do something with it. By the way, these judges are not going to give her a round. I know we got 2 minutes left, but they're not going to give her a round just for position.
Nice hand control by Shields.
Did some real
damage. Doing a good job to stand back up. She's trying to use that hand control to turn and face her opponent.
Kelsey DeSantis hanging heavy on the back, taking some deep breaths here. A lot of fatigue showing. 2 minutes left-ish in round number 2. Kelsey DeSantis is in the black and white. Claressa Shields is in the blue. And immediately on the separation, offers a right hand and a left hook.
Well, you can tell Claressa Shields did a lot of work on the cage because she's really done some great things. Framing, scrambling out of some positions.
Kelsey's a little high for my liking on her grappling attempts. A lot of stuff has been up around the head or the neck, even the shoulders. Need to see her down to those hips or lower. I could live with the thighs and the hamstrings, but she got to get a little bit lower on the body to control our Olympic champion.
As you talk about control, you see Claressa Shields there. She grabbed the wrist of Kelsey DeSantis to prevent the locking of hands.
Framing out again. Look for her to punch her way out of this situation. Framing the head.
Offers a knee.
She's turning into a mixed martial artist, guys, right before our eyes.
A little dirty boxing there.
Yeah, buddy.
Kelsey's conceding that position a little too easy. Kelsey really needs to push Claressa's back up against the fence and keep her own off. It's a bit of a surprise. This is a grappling realm, guys. It doesn't have to be on the ground to be wrestling. They're wrestling on their feet.
Shields on DeSantis' back now.
Little duck under into the back. DeSantis able to get out of that position quickly. Under 30 seconds here in round number 2. Feature bout here on our early card. We've got a pay-per-view card coming up. Champs versus champs as Claressa Shields goes with the flurry and the body work again, this time with the right hand.
Oh, those body shots are hurting her.
And then the right hand came over the top. Kelsey DeSantis Might be saved by the bell here.
Wow.
Shields.
Dan Hardy is beside the PFL Smart Cage with a special guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with, well, the legend Mike Tyson. I'm so privileged to be speaking to you, my friend. First of all, what do you think of this incredible setup that we've got?
Oh, I'm having a great time, Chan. The fighters are just exciting, and this is a hell of a fight right now.
Do you like to see a boxer crossing over to mixed martial arts?
I would like to see anybody fight.
You just love fight sports generally. You're still into it as much as you used to be.
Hey, I love fighting. I love two roaches fighting, anything that fight.
My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Tyson, what a privilege to speak to you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Hustle up.
Big deep breaths there in the corner for Kelsey DeSantis. The look on Claressa Shields' face as she was walking back to the corner, incredulous, angry. She wants to get Kelsey DeSantis out of here.
She's like, what's keeping you standing up? I've hit you with everything but the kitchen sink, and you're still here.
Round number 3 begins. Claressa Shields, the 2-time Olympic boxing gold medalist in the blue. Kelsey DeSantis, the United States Marine, in the white and black.
Oh, a kick from Claressa. Now, that's not something I would have expected to see.
And I like Claressa's idea of backing DeSantis up, but I'm a little surprised DeSantis is letting her. I'm a little surprised DeSantis is one, like she did in the first round, putting Claressa's back and shoulders against that fence.
A little advancing here from DeSantis, but she gets backed up with that right hand again.
On and off the track. Don't let her draw you towards the cage. Bring it back to the center of the cage. Windshield wiper, control the tempo.
Claressa Shields listening well to her coaching. Coaches said, don't let her draw you back towards the cage. They don't want that clinch work. They don't want that dirty boxing.
That's exactly what DeSantis is trying to do. That overhand right. Oh, boy, that was a big one, too.
On the separation, she just threw that short overhand right up, right into the jaw of Kelsey DeSantis, who eats it for lunch and dinner.
DeSantis is tough as an old leather boot. I mean, she's taking some real shot. Her face stays straight, man. She's playing poker out there, man. She's got this straight face. I'm very impressed by that. Guys, I got to tell you, by the way, unofficial scorecard I'm keeping over here. I got this one apiece. This whole fight comes down to the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Good left hand on the exit. You see the footwork. She adapted it for mixed martial arts. And here's a flurry. Referee looking closely. Kerry Hatley.
DeSantis is in trouble here. Yeah, and that body work in the first and second round is paying off.
Look at the disparity of the strikes as we look at the fight stats. Claressa Shields has landed almost 80 punches. Kelsey DeSantis registering 0 on the meter right now. Don't forget about
double. Great sprawl by Claressa. They get carried away.
Kelsey, even to pull guard would be wise. And now she's controlling the hips a little bit. Kelsey DeSantis getting down to the hips.
After a nice sprawl from Claressa Shields, nice work by Kelsey DeSantis to doggedly pursue that takedown. They're not on the ground, but DeSantis in the good position here.
Nice hand work, hand fighting by Claressa.
Now DeSantis.
Got to be careful here.
Mounted. Claressa Shields.
This is a tremendously important position, guys. As we have less than half of the final round, I think they're one apiece. I mean, it really is important. You're talking damage. I get that Shields is doing well, but DeSantis has enough time here to possibly sway this one back.
Well, you
Not sure if she's got the energy to sway this one back.
You made the point earlier. You're not going to get around just for position, just for control. After the first half of this round, where we saw Claressa Shields landing, if this fight is indeed tied on the scorecards coming in to round number 3, if you're Kelsey DeSantis, you have half a round to work and try to steal this round back.
She's trying to set up the armbar again.
I think that's too big of a risk, Randy.
Yeah, she gives up top position.
That's right. She's in mount. She's got the fence there. I think she's got a real opportunity to do some pounding.
90 seconds in round number 3. Feature bout on our early card. Pay-per-view card still to come. PFL Champs versus Bellator Champs. Super belts on the line.
Notice DeSantis is allowing Claressa to stay in this position or to move her head towards the middle. That's opposite of what she wants to do. DeSantis wants to drive that head of Claressa into the fence. That'll keep her for the rest of the night.
Randy, what's the advice to Claressa Shields in this position if you're in her corner with 1 minute left in this fight?
You see what she's trying to do? She's trying to go to an elbow escape there, but she's trying to do it with her hand. She's got to switch her hips, get on one cheek, and push that knee down and find a way to get out of there. If I'm her coach, she's going to spend a week in this position after this until she feels very comfortable getting out of this spot.
She made the switch to Murcielago mixed martial arts up there in Lansing, Michigan. DeSantis with 30 seconds. Still on top.
30 seconds, Chelsea, 30 seconds.
Pushing through some real fatigue. There's a lot of compliments I could give to Kelsey finishing this round here. But guys, I don't think she's done enough damage. I think she needs separation. Let those hands go, reach complete exhaustion, even in these last 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's too little too late. Just getting to the mount isn't enough to win her the round, in my opinion.
I don't think either of these fighters should feel overly comfortable that the judges saw this go their way. There's something you can't always trust in mixed martial arts. Claressa Shields finishes this fight on her back. Had a very strong start to the round, had a great round two. But we will go to the judges' scorecards and see what they think about this one.
This is about finding out who's the best of the best. PFL versus Bellator. Champion versus champion. To be the best, you have to beat the best.
Johnny Edward pouring on the pressure and shot.
Live from Saudi Arabia. Bigger, badder, better than ever.
The champion has been defeated.
Only one king shall reign.
Oh, Pereira! George Bader! Wow! Wow!
MMA greatness is on the line.
Give me 2 more rounds of this.
Seize the throne.
Very interesting fight here on the early card, and then I see the preview for that pay-per-view card still to come. I get a little tingly, Randy Couture, because we are just getting started here in Riyadh as we look at these post-fight stats. You can see Claressa Shields threw more, landed more. Of course, Kelsey DeSantis did score the takedowns.
And the one stat we don't see there is either the first 2 females to fight in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia right here, and that's history.
Another stat you don't see, Chael, is the submission attempt, the tight armbar attempt from Kelsey DeSantis in round 1.
Which has long been debated, right? How much credit do you give that? Look, rule number 1, guys, is damage. These aren't Chael's rules. This is the commission's rules. I think that Claressa did a really good job there. Also, body shots. I remember early on in this sport, Chuck Liddell would complain and say we don't get enough credit for leg kicks. Judges have really adjusted to that. I think those body shots are going to impress him. Now, it wasn't a one-sided fight. Kelsey definitely got her spots in. This is where we finished the last 3 minutes of this contest, but was it enough action? We're going to find out in just a minute.
We're waiting for Andy Shepard to make his appearance with the judges' scorecards in hand.
Can I give you a prediction? Can I make my guess? Because it's a close one. You know, I think Claressa won this fight. If I'm a judge, I got to give her round 3.
I agree with you, Chael. I agree with you 100%.
1 and 2, I thought were pretty easy to score. They split them. Round 3 is hard to score, but I gave it to Shields.
Andy Shepard has the official scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Referee Brian Miner scores about 28-29 for Shields. Ben Cartlidge scores about 29-28 for DeSantis. And Mohamed Hadi scores about 28-29 for your winner via split decision, Claressa Shields!
Claressa Shields' second victory in her pro mixed martial arts career by a narrow margin on the split decision. All that matters is that dub goes in the win column, and you can see the elation.
She should be proud of herself, because she has really, really improved since the last time we saw her, Sean.
Absolutely. I mean, you see the growth even in bad positions. I think a wise man said, you don't have to be perfect, you have to be effective. No. She was just effective enough. Dan Hardy has the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Claressa Shields. Relief, is that the look on your face right now?
First, I just want to thank God. I want to thank Saudi for having me here. I want to thank the PFL. I had such a hard camp. Like, it's not easy what I'm trying to do, and I've been so respectful of the sport, and I put in a lot of hard work for this. And I'm just going to go back to the gym and work harder, but I almost got my arm snapped in the freaking arm bar. Had to fight out of that. I couldn't quite figure it all the way out the third round, but I know I had a strong first round, and I definitely had a hard second, and I won the beginning of the third round. So I just want to thank Kelsey and her team for accepting the fight, and just want to thank my team, Mercy, Team Joaquin, Coach Justin. They pushed me so hard in camp. It was days in camp where I was literally holding in tears, and I was not considering going back to the gym because it was just so hard. But I forced myself to go back, and that's how I got the win tonight.
That was a very well-earned victory. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Claressa Shields.
Claressa Shields, victorious again inside the PFL Smart Cage. There's Biagio Ali Walsh, making his professional mixed martial arts debut after a very impressive amateur career, the grandson of Muhammad Ali. The grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali.
You know, everyone knows you, Muhammad Ali's grandson. There's a lot of pressure on your name.
The pressure, it's gonna always be there. How you deal with the pressure is what's more important.
What a shot! That's it. That'll do it! Biagio Ali Walsh unleashes hell! Oh, that hurt him. The right hand lands! There he goes! Biagio Ali Walsh takes the stoppage!
We've heard you may be thinking about turning pro. Do you feel ready?
Oh, and that'll do it! Biagio Ali Walsh! My goodness!
I'm gonna fight again, and then after that, I'm gonna fight again, and then after that, I'm gonna fight again. Make a name for myself.
Oh, he's out! My goodness, what a knockout!
I'm gonna make my own legacy.
A superstar in the making, Biagio Ali Walsh.
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, playing host to the biggest card in PFL history, the biggest card in Bellator history. Pay-per-view coming on our main card later tonight. You can purchase that at DAZN.com. Sign up. You can also do it at ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL. Make the purchase.
The legendary night tonight happening for the very first time in Riyadh. Mubarak Lee Al-Qahtani Claressa Shields representing Team PFL tonight.
Let's recap what we've seen so far here. First fight of the night, amateur catchweight bout. The local favorite, Saudi fighter Malik Basahel, wrestled his way to a victory here, Randy.
Had a lot of really nice transition skills and takedowns to dominate this fight. A very competitive outing. The two very, very promising amateur fighters.
Okay, I like it. The competition is heating up.
We saw the judges' scorecards in that one. Malik Basahel improves to 18-2-1 as an amateur. Talked about potentially making a pro debut soon, but he's going to listen to his coaches. He's going to consult with the people who've helped him along the way in his career.
مين راح يتنافس في المواجهة التالية representing PFL.
So Saudi fighter wins, the crowd gets a little bump there, and then Abdullah Al-Qahtani, he's not just from Saudi Arabia, he's from here in Riyadh. And he had a tough test Chael Sonnen against Eduardo Rao. He answered the call even after getting dropped here, had to wrestle out of trouble, and then we saw one-way traffic the rest of the way.
Al-Qahtani wanted this finish. He made that clear. Look, Mike Tyson's here tonight. Mike Tyson's very famous for making a statement. If you try to get the finish, you will not win the decision. That was something Al-Qahtani had to worry about all night, making sure he didn't punch himself out, but ultimately, he did not. He favored these takedowns. Surprisingly, he got the finish on his feet. He wobbled Rao enough. Referee Brian Miner said, I have seen enough.
Big finish for Abdullah Al-Qahtani. As always, he brings his mother's picture with him. Credits her for a lot of his success. Abdullah Al-Qahtani, a very bright future. And in the post-fight interview, he teased that something special was going to be happening later tonight. I'm still waiting on that. That brings us to the GOAT stepping back into the smart cage. Claressa Shields, 1-1 in her pro mixed martial arts career. She's a dominant boxer. She's not quite as dominant in mixed martial arts, but she wanted to challenge herself. Safe to say she got challenged in this fight.
This was a treat for everybody at home. Come on, when's the last time you got to see an Olympic champion, let alone a two-time champion, almost opening up a card? She showed some real heart, some real grit, and she was ever so happy, almost relieved to win.
Sean O'Connell, Chael Sonnen, Dan Hardy now stepping in here at the broadcast desk. I want to talk about what we just saw from Claressa Shields. This is a dominant world champion in the sport of boxing, all right? She doesn't have the moments in boxing that we just saw from her in mixed martial arts. She almost got her arm broken in round number 1. She had to fight back through that. She finishes this fight being mounted and punched. And you saw fighting back tears in a post-fight interview. That doesn't happen when she's boxing. She's embraced the suck, Dan, and I admire it.
Well, this is the thing that's most fascinating, is that these are hard-earned victories, and it's probably been a little while since she's had one of those, especially in such a challenging environment. She showed some good things on the ground, but we're still seeing that development needed to be there. But that was great motivation to get her back in the gym and keep improving.
Chael, I don't know if you know what's coming next. You're going to get excited when I tell you this.
Come on, lay it on me. Lay it on me.
The professional debut of Biagio Ali Walsh. And we will get to it here at Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the lightweights.
Adam. Biagio Ali Walsh, Emmanuel Palasio. Making his PFL debut, came all the way from Argentina. He already has one pro fight under his belt. He won that fight via arm triangle in the first round. That was not so long ago, December 2023. Emmanuel Palasio is a very young fighter.
And in the red corner, Biagio Ali Walsh.
Now, Sean, a moment ago when you were telling me the excitement for Ali Walsh, just to share with any new viewers we might have, this is Muhammad Ali's grandson. Now, he was a great football player growing up. He switched over to fighting. He's actually making his debut. He got a last-minute opportunity. He seized on it. He told people, I don't bring up my grandfather a lot because people wouldn't believe me. I look a little too Italian.
Well, he's riding a streak of finishes, and that comes on the back of his incredible aggression. Now, it's not without risk the way that he fights, because he'll eat one to give you two. As you transition to the pro ranks, we'll see if he improves on that a little bit. Tail the tape here, Biagio Ali Walsh, 25 years of age. You can see Emmanuel Palasio, 19. Biagio Ali Walsh is the taller fighter, the heavier fighter, the longer armed and legged fighter. He's got reach advantages here. Chael, I don't want you to give me keys to victory. I want them from Dan Hardy.
You know, he's done such a great job with them. So, of course, Biagio, he's got to stay composed with pressure. He was getting a little too overzealous in his amateur career. That's got to be something to fix. Building off the jab and damaging the lead leg will be a key. For Palasio, he's got to stay off the fence. The level changes under the punches will be a great threat for him, and then submissions from the top position.
Andy Shepard is inside the smart cage.
The following lightweight fight is a special showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 152.6 pounds and holds a record of 1 win and no losses. Fighting out of San Francisco, Solano, Argentina, Emmanuel Palasio. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He is a striking specialist and stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 155.4 pounds. And tonight, he makes his professional MMA debut. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Biagio Ali Walsh. Referee in charge, Kerry Hatley.
Kerry Hatley equipped with the ref cam. He can take us inside the smart cage for a closer look. Biagio Ali Walsh in the black trunks, Emmanuel Palasio in the white. 3 5-minute rounds at 155 pounds. Pro debut for Biagio Ali Walsh. Second pro fight in the career of Emmanuel Palasio.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. This is what you work for. You ready? Ready? Let's go to work.
Touch of the gloves between these two competitors. Ali Walsh claims the center of the smart cage.
I like this steady start. Oh, straight in for a takedown. Wow, what power.
Up and down, Biagio Ali Walsh goes. Emmanuel Palasio doesn't mind the groundwork, but usually prefers to be on top.
And a debut versus somebody with a little more experience. Walsh, in the future, when he gets a takedown this close to his fence, will turn his opponent, try to get their head right against that fence, almost use it as a backstop, almost like a tag team partner if you get used to using it well. Palasio, not very active right now. I expected a little bit more movement from him. When I watched Palasio's other fights, he's got a pretty active guard. There's the scramble.
Scrambles and sneaks out the back door, but right back into a clinch goes Biagio Ali Walsh.
Battle for wrist control at close range here. Biagio needs to get that head position.
Palasio's going to need a little urgency here. He's going to need a little movement. Possibly get an underhook with his right arm, change his position, put Walsh up against the fence.
We saw on the tail of the tape that these two men weighed in about 3 pounds apart. Biagio Ali Walsh is clearly the larger fighter in this matchup. Using that strength and size, and once again bullying Emmanuel Palasio to the mat.
Beautiful inside reap and circles his opponent off the fence as well to take that opportunity to escape away. But Palasio's going to be busy off his back here. He was working for a strong overhook previously. We've got to be careful of him trying to sneak up submissions here as Biagio starts to open up and strike.
Tonight in this fight and from this position, Biagio Ali Walsh can utilize a weapon that his grandfather was never able to deploy in his illustrious career. Elbows are allowed in our Champs versus Champs card. That's a departure from our normal PFL rule set. We're back to the unified rules here. Biagio Ali Walsh talked about potentially using elbows.
Walsh has surprised me. The body lock, the takedowns, the control up against the fence, it surprised me. However, I'm equally as surprised at his lack of activity from the ground. Look, he's got to get that head off of his opponent's chest. Whether he wants to clear up the sit-up, we call this posturing, so he can get some power on those punches, or if he wants to pass, he's going to need to do one of the two. The referee is not going to let him stay in this position all night.
2 minutes left in round number 1. Emmanuel Palasio hanging on the head, potentially looking to earn that stand-up from Kerry Hatley, who so far has yet to intervene in this groundwork.
Also worth noting, this is the first time that Biagio's done 5-minute rounds as well, transitioning from his amateur career in threes. There's a nice elbow on the break.
Palasio really has two options here, guys. He can either start to look for a submission, or he can start to cause a scramble and look for an escape. And I'm bringing that to you because there is a third option. It just doesn't gain favor with judges, which is to stay here and defend yourself. Self-defense is a very nice term. If you want to win in this contest, if you want to win the smart cage, you're going to need a little self-offense, and that is what Palasio isn't doing so far.
And he allowed Biagio Ali Walsh to advance his position to this crossbody side control. And heavy shoulder pressure. Dan, what's the strategy with Palasio grabbing and locking down on this head?
I don't think he was expecting this game plan from Biagio. I don't think he was prepared to be fighting off his back at this early on in the fight. Anybody that's watched Biagio's amateur career, you can see the fast, powerful hands that he's been utilizing to dispatch his opponents. This is a very, very different version that we're seeing of him. Maybe he just needed to get this first round out of the way, get a couple of takedowns, maybe put that doubt in Palacio's mind that there is a grappling game on the table as well, and then that might open up his strikes in the second.
Sign up at DAZN.com. Purchase the pay-per-view of our main card, Champs versus Champs. The super belts will be contested in our final 4 bouts of the evening.
All right, here we go again. And Palasio again, not showing an urgency.
Flying knee attempted there from Biagio Ali Walsh. Left hook landed from Palasio, who now starts to get to work with the hands. Another one lands.
Stop. Oh.
That one was after the bell. Apologetic. Palasio goes back to his corner. I don't know how many people expected the tactic that we saw early in this first round from Biagio Ali Walsh, but here's your takedown of the night so far.
A reason why this worked is his lock is so low. He's just above the belt line or the shorts. For an example, you got to really control those hips. That's something Walsh did well early, and he was able to do it early because they hadn't broken the sweat yet. That is a technique in a position that will be harder in rounds 2 and 3. You cannot get that analysis anywhere, by the way. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, this is such an in-depth analysis. What a treat this must be for you to get that kind of an education from the bad guy.
I'm sorry, I was tuning you out, Chael. I apologize for that. I'm sure it was riveting.
Chael, I'm evolving by the moment as a martial artist and as a man. Just to have you sat near me.
Thank you, Dan.
Don't let this guy bully you.
So, look. Guys, I have to ask this question. Did Dennis Davis and the camp at Extreme Couture say, you know what, Biagio, in your pro debut, we think you're a lot better than this guy. We want to see you bang some cage time. We want to see you take this guy down. Let's prove to people that you're a complete mixed martial artist. Is that what we saw in round 1? Because now the hands are going in round 2.
Yeah, he's letting them go now, isn't he? And everything starts with that jab. That's that traditional, everything starts with the jab. There's the 1-2. Hey, if you can hit him once, you can hit him twice.
Palasio did land another hook there, and that is something about Biagio Ali Walsh's style that I love, but I think that his coaches might not like so much, is he is willing to eat punches in order to give them back.
Lovely calf kick, and nice 2 punches on the break there.
Nothing we've seen from Walsh tonight has been one shot at a time. It is punches and bunches.
That leg is compromised. He's having a hard time kind of resetting the balance. That might have deadened his foot, that big calf kick.
Fast hands.
But Palasio offers a jab. At the end of every one of Biagio Ali Walsh's combinations, he's eating a punch from Palasio. Now, he's still landing more than his opponent, but he is taking some damage back as he tests that high kick.
Palacio's not afraid to stay in that range. I'm being a little critical of the young man, but he's got a big career ahead of him. I'd like to see him a little more busy, throwing a little more at the wall. He elected to be in this position. If you're electing to be in guard, then I must believe as a viewer that you have a technique or submission you'd like to attempt from here. But that's not what Palasio did. He pulled guard, he grabbed the head, and he's staying still.
Again, both of these fighters very, very early in their careers. Palasio came in 1-0 as a pro. Biagio Ali Walsh is making his pro debut. So you're going to learn some lessons in fights like this. Pay-per-view main card later tonight, available on ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL.
This is better work now from Biagio. Now he's pummeled his hands on the inside, taking them off the mat. This will open up opportunities for short elbows. The hand on the mat, the arm on the mat makes me nervous because there's overhooks there that can be threatened. I would like to see more activity from Palasio off the floor, though.
Dan, I've never been coached up on how to referee a fight, but if a fighter elects, as Chael said, to put himself in this position, then he kind of hangs on for the stand-up. As a referee, are you saying, even subconsciously, I'm not standing you up, you put yourself here?
I don't know. I mean, I think if the action slows down, the smart thing to do for the referee would be to stand them back up, and I think there's the first warning there. The reality is Palasio is feeling the power in the punches and elbows of Biagio. So anytime he's in this position, he's going to hold on to it and just close that space down.
Stand-up happens. Just over 2 minutes left in round number 2. Right back to the heavy punches they go. Nice uppercut there from Palasio, but then he gets himself backed up and eats a combination from Biagio Ali Walsh.
A flying knee, wow. Of all the things, we saw a body lock, then we saw a head kick, now we've seen a flying knee from Walsh. Really looks very good. His composure is on point. Guys, by the way, there's intangibles such as pace. How hard can you push? Walsh really doing a good job of showing his level of fitness for this fight.
Got to be careful of that guillotine. Palasio's got one arm in, but it does seem to be under the neck if he can reach his hands together. Biagio looking to hand fight here.
Palasio doesn't have control of Ali Walsh's hips, so he's going to have to abandon that. And now into the half guard for Biagio Ali Walsh. We'll see if he can advance further from here and do some damage from the top position. So far has had some trouble tonight doing so. Under 1 minute in round number 2. Sean O'Connell, Chael's son, and Dan Hardy cage side. Randy Couture also in the building, as is Josh the Punk Thompson, Amanda Guerra. Big John McCarthy standing by remotely.
There were some good body shots from Biagio there. Palasio's being active, but he doesn't even have his half guard closed here. Biagio is sitting on that leg, making it very difficult for him to move his hips at all.
Dan, I do not believe that Palasio is fatigued. I don't think he's reached exhaustion. However, he's fighting as though he is. He's fighting as though he's worried about using too much energy. I feel like he's got more left and not enough volume.
Final 10 seconds of round number 2. Biagio Ali Walsh will finish this second frame on top of Emmanuel Palasio. Parents of Biagio Ali Walsh there on your screen. His mother, of course, the daughter of Muhammad Ali. Wearing the expression that I imagine a lot of fighters' mothers wear while they're watching their son or daughter fight.
Real concern in her eyes. That definitely told a story right there. Very cool that mom and dad came out, though, to support him in his pro debut.
There's the aforementioned Dennis Davis in the corner of Biagio Ali Walsh, offering some coaching to his young fighter. What are you telling Emmanuel Palasio, Dan?
I'm telling them that he needs to be more active. Of course, Biagio is getting caught with those counter hooks. As he's opening up with his punching strikes, he's not pulling himself out of range every time. Palasio needs to work that lead leg and start countering those headshots.
Ready? Let's go to work.
Quick hug to start round number 3. Display of sportsmanship here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
heavy leg kick.
Display of sportsmanship. I mean, I've seen the round 3 hug, but it's when we're like having a war or we're split one apiece. Palasio has lost 10 minutes of a 10-minute fight.
Wow. Beautiful timing.
The explosiveness on those level changes from Biagio Ali Walsh shows you something of his background. He was an elite college football player. It's just a tackle. It's just a form tackle, Chael.
And what position, by the way?
He was a defensive back, good running back as well in high school football.
I mean, I can see the power. I can see that explosiveness. I would have guessed receiver. Special teams, return the ball. For example, I do see a special athlete here.
Biagio Ali Walsh inside control. His parents cage side, watching nervously as their son makes his long-awaited professional mixed martial arts debut. Palasio hanging on the head, locking himself down.
Von Flue choke. Potential Von Flue choke here if Biagio gets his hands together and applies that shoulder pressure.
He thought about it for a moment. It's one of those chokes, Dan, that if you don't practice it a lot, it's kind of hard to get the right angle and pressure.
Very true. But as soon as a fighter gets their arm stuck, as you can see, Palasio's left hand is stuck with the glove. Biagio should be able to pressure into his face with his shoulder here. Beautiful control, though.
Walsh is tight. You'll notice where his knee is in relation to his opponent's body. That's so that he can hold the position. That's so that Palasio can't regain guard. Creates a little space. First thing Palasio does, bring that knee in, get back to full guard.
Our main card tonight, available only on pay-per-view. DAZN.com, if you're part of our worldwide audience, to purchase that pay-per-view. If you're in the United States, ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL. Go purchase the pay-per-view so you can see a main event between Renan Ferreira and Ryan Bader. Winner of that fight will welcome Francis Ngannou to the smart cage when he returns from boxing to the sport of mixed martial arts. So the stakes in our main event ratcheted up this week when Francis made that announcement.
Feel like we're going to get either a warning or a stand-up straight away in a moment. There are punches landing, but they're just not consequential enough, I feel, to maintain this position.
Let's go.
Here's the stand-up. No doubt we're going to see Biagio open up with his hands again, and he started to step in with some hard elbows as well. He was doing that in the second round. There's the calf kick into a body lock, takedown, scrambles to top position. Palasio back in with Biagio in his closed guard.
When you have a fight for 3 rounds and you're stood up twice for inactivity, that's not great. That's not a wonderful sign where you're going to be excited to see Ray Sefo or Dan Hardy in the back and say, hey guys, how did I do? But who is to blame? And I got to put a lot of the blame on Palasio. He's asked for this position a couple of times. He's worked hard to get to this position. He's shown skill to get here, but then he hasn't done anything with it. And that's been a bit of a surprise for me.
I wonder if there are some pro debut nerves going on as well for Biagio.
Understandable that both of these fighters on a stage like this, good elbow there from the top, would feel some nerves. What you don't want is you don't want a fighter feeling like, hey, if I can just hear that final bell, if I just don't get finished, it's a moral victory of sorts. That's not how we do things here in the Professional Fighters League.
Posturing off, potentially looking for an arm. Biagio needs to square those hips up. Palasio could potentially isolate that left arm of Biagio right here.
Dan, I'd be happy if Palasio just attempted to isolate that arm. If he just tries to throw that leg over. Right now, it's 5 inches. Just try to throw it over. Please, here we go. I'll count that as an effort.
I even like the strikes from the bottom. Since the unified rules were changed, people have been winning fights off their back with strikes here.
It won't happen for Emmanuel Palasio tonight. Biagio Ali Walsh finishes round 3 on top. A successful pro debut for Biagio Ali Walsh. We'll leave that to the judges. You can see from the body language there by Biagio Not necessarily the performance he expected of himself, but barring any major surprises, he will improve to 1-0 as a pro.
Sure. Hey, it was grindy. It was dominant. There was endurance used there. I mean, I've got to tell you, there's a lot of things that you're learning to do in a professional cage, but one of them is how to take that energy that you've got and extend it efficiently over 15 minutes. A lot of good came for Walsh in this contest.
Biagio Ali Walsh, Emmanuel Palasio, 3 5-minute rounds. We go to the judges' scorecards. They are with Andy Shepard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score this bout 30-27 for your winner via unanimous decision, Biagio Ali Walsh.
Mom and Dad happy. No surprises from the result there. Biagio Ali Walsh, 1-0 as a pro. Extends his win streak as we march closer to our pay-per-view card. Action continues here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the new fight capital of the world. It's PFL champs and Bellator champs. This is the final feature bout on our early card, a rematch. 5 years in the making, Henry Corrales and Aaron Pico.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Aaron Pico.
All right, this is the ultimate competitor. Guys, nobody ever came into this sport that I personally have seen. I've been watching since '93 with as much hype around him, as much potential. He debuted on pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden. My goodness, Aaron Pico almost made an Olympic team when he was a senior in high school. He was offered a full ride by every college in the country. He told them no and instead signed with MMA.
And in the red corner, Henry Corrales.
Chael, excellent job setting the stage, painting the picture of the hype train that accompanied Aaron Pico into this sport. The man who did a significant job of derailing that hype train walks down the ramp right now. Henry Corrales, the first time these two met, after a furious start, after being dropped with a beautiful Pico uppercut. In a short combination, finished Aaron Pico the last time these guys fought.
Short notice fight here. Short notice fight here for Corrales, accepting a rematch, the first rematch of Pico's young career.
3 5-minute rounds at lightweight. Henry Corrales and Aaron Pico squaring off. This is the final fight before we get to our pay-per-view main card on ESPN Plus and on DAZN. Go to DAZN.com to purchase the pay-per-view, ESPN Plus to purchase the pay-per-view as we look at the tail of the tape for this early card feature. Henry Corrales took this fight on short notice. He is 10 years older than Aaron Pico. Both men 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighed in the same. You can see a very slight reach advantage on arms and legs favoring Aaron Pico. Andy Shepard takes it away.
The following fight takes place in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 155.7 pounds and holds an MMA record of 12 victories and 4 defeats. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Whittier, California, Aaron Pico! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He went in officially at 155.7 pounds and in his 28-fight career has earned a record of 21 wins and 7 losses. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, by way of Liverata, California, Henry Coes. Referee in charge, Brian Miner.
Brian Miner will oversee the action. Final bout of our early card. Henry Corrales in the black trunks. Aaron Pico in the ballet tudo tight trunks.
I was on the card the night that these two fought for the very first time. I saw Aaron Pico behind scenes after the fight. To explain to you how dejected he was would be difficult to put into words. But one thing about Aaron Pico, even in defeat, he gets up the next day, he goes to the gym, he looks forward. And here he is in a rematch that he never asked for. This was a short notice fight by Corrales. I got to give Corrales a lot of credit for taking the risk. He already beat Pico once. He's got to go try to do it again. Pico went on a shot here. Pico gets the takedown. Corrales needs to keep that arm straight on the head just like he's doing. Don't give up on that. Keep that distance. He'll be able to scramble to his feet. He's got to keep that arm straight.
If he can stay elevated as he gets back to the cage, he can use that barrier back to his feet. Henry Corrales, a veteran of the sport, almost 30 fights in.
When you have a wrestler as good as Pico, it's not a surprise that he could go find a takedown particularly early. But the fact that Corrales could scramble back up to his feet with no damage done, pretty impressive.
Pay-per-view card coming next. Pay-per-view champs versus champs. Nice high kick attempt there from Pico on the exit.
Dan, you could hear that, couldn't you?
You know I love a high kick, and that one snapped right to the side of his head.
Yeah,
right
I
hand
love a high
before
kick.
the takedown. Once again, Pico using that angle, running his feet in a tight circle. And this time it's going to be harder for Henry Corrales to stand up.
You could see that veteran experience in Henry Corrales when Pico grabs a hold of him, making every single battle dangerous for him, difficult for him. Trying to get into the floor, he makes it very, very hard work. Everything Pico's doing, he's having to earn here right now. Look at this, beautiful work. Corrales using the fence to get back to his feet. He's going to dig an underhook in a minute, but he's very aware of those elbows.
Driving elbows, left hook, and then back in on the leg. Pico just chaining the attacks together. Now working his way to the back of Henry Corrales. Little mat return as Corrales tried to climb his way up the barrier. Right here in front of the broadcast position. Corrales doing an excellent job of getting back to his feet.
It's incredible. One thing, and I say this as a wrestler, one thing that will frustrate a wrestler mentally is if he gets a takedown, but he doesn't get to use it. He doesn't get to take a couple of deep breaths on top. That's what Corrales is going to do. That's going to frustrate Pico. You will see these takedown attempts slowing by Pico if Corrales keeps springing back to his feet.
Pico mixing the attacks even more now. Another high kick attempt there. Little blood on Pico, surprisingly. I wonder where it came from.
Boy, Corrales staying composed, and he's not breathing deep either, guys. A lot of work been done for a guy that's taking a fight on short notice. He's not breathing deep yet.
Dan Hardy, how many rematches did you fight in your career?
Oh, a good few. I always enjoyed a rematch because you know what you're dealing with from the last time that you fought, but you've also got to appreciate they've evolved. Aaron Pico's won 8 fights since the last time he faced Henry Corrales, and you can see that maturity in his game now. The last time the fight was just over a minute long, and he got caught because of overzealousness, a little immaturity perhaps. We can see that maturity here, how he's building this game. He's building the fatigue into his opponent. Beautiful jab. And I will go out on a limb, and I'll take the controversy, but I think you'll agree with me. Aaron Pico's got some of the best hands in all of mixed martial arts.
Well, you've heard Chael talking about his wrestling credentials. He was also a Gold Gloves champion, which is why the sport of mixed martial arts was so excited about his choice to come into mixed martial arts instead of pursuing an amateur wrestling career. Another takedown, once again in a great controlled position here. See if Aaron Pico, who's building some momentum as this round progresses, if he can earn himself a finish before we see round 2.
A great pattern for Pico historically has been when he wrestles first and then goes to his strikes. When he comes out and strikes first and chooses to wrestle a little bit later on, he's been caught. I like that he takes a little bit of energy out of, in this case, Corrales first.
I like that he just used a good old-fashioned half Nelson and ran it around to put Corrales on his back there. Pico's got to be careful. It looked like he attempted a knee there. If he had landed that knee, it would have been illegal if it landed on the head. Nice, nasty left hands. This might be the end for Corrales, who's covering up. And a flurry of elbows. We will not see round 2. Revenge for Aaron Pico.
A very impressive, well-rounded, mature performance. Straight over to his corner. Thanks his coaches, Greg Jackson.
Wow.
Six-gun Gibson in the corner as well.
Aaron Pico very much bit into the theme of the night, which was the Bellator guys coming over. He very much talked about the pride that he had. He is now under the banner. He is no longer the new guy.
Little chatter back and forth. Ray Seffo steps in to separate. We'll get some thoughts from these two. I need to know what Aaron Pico and Henry Corrales had to say to one another, because, look, Pico was incredibly calm when we talked to him in fighter meetings. I don't know the man well, but very impressed with his maturity, very impressed with his professionalism, his approach to this sport. You just saw him get a little bit spicy after the fight there in response to whatever Henry Corrales said. And I am struck by the likeness. If Pedro Pascal ever needs a stunt double who actually knows how to fight, Aaron Pico with that hair and that beard looks exactly like Pedro Pascal.
Could a Mandalorian be more dangerous? Yes, if it was Aaron Pico.
I want to see it now.
One thing about rematches, they're a great place to test yourself. Think of lifting weights, by example, or even doing a sprint where you can time it. You can look at the number, how much weight you're putting up. That's what's important and helpful in a rematch. You can look at how you performed the last time, take on that same person, the same weight class, under the same rules like these boys just did, and then look at that performance. There appears to be very good gains by Aaron Pico. My guess of the frustration by Corrales is that they're one apiece now. Oh, and by the way, he did a short notice favor. My guess is Corrales is telling Aaron something along the lines of, I would have liked a full camp before we did this. That's my guess, but I bet I'm close to the theme.
And maybe we will see that eventually. A trilogy match sounds fun. Now I think whatever venom and vitriol has calmed down a bit as they discuss things inside the smart cage. Aaron Pico extends it to 3 in a row. As I think you already painted this picture well, Chael, but Aaron Pico is one of those guys who, at 27 years old, and now this is his 17th pro mixed martial arts fight, he's really a lifetime into being a combat sports athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, 27 is very young. He's rounding into his athletic prime here, but he's got 2.5 decades of combat sports experience at less than age 30. I mean, he started wrestling. He was on the mats when he was a little tyke. That level of experience as a guy starts to really come into himself as an athlete, terrifying for anyone else in this weight class.
He foregoed his college career. He was recruited everywhere, and he said, no, I'm going to go into MMA.
Andy Shepard will make this one official inside the PFL Smart Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Brian Mahler calls a halt to the action at 4 minutes and 53 seconds of the first round, declaring your winner via TKO, Aaron Pico.
Incredible recognition by Aaron Pico at the very end. It's very easy when you've dominated a round to just say, you know what, I'll see you in round number 2. But he recognized that he was near the finish after that 10-second clapper, and he poured on the gas to get it done.
Lot to see here. Listen, I talked about it being short notice. Pico called for a title fight. He tried to get the Pitbull fight on short notice, so credit to both guys. These are true competitors. There's a knee by Pico, which, by the way, history could be changed, partner. We could be talking about a different kind of outcome had that landed. That was not legal.
If he lands that knee, it's a DQ potentially.
Here, Pico swarming him. I was on the other side of the thought of coin of thought, by the way. I thought that Corrales was protecting himself. I know intelligent thought could be in the eye of the beholder, but I thought we were going to see a second round.
There was no protest from Corrales at the end, and that is usually a good indication of how done that fight truly was. Brian Miner, I think, has done a great job tonight, so I'm not going to call that decision into question. Well, I'll tell you something. Very interesting early card. But tonight is really all about our exclusive pay-per-view presentation. DAZN.com, ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL. If you want to watch the biggest fight card in PFL history, in Bellator history, you got to buy the pay-per-view. We are moments away from transitioning to that. You've got a QR code on your screen. Please go buy the pay-per-view because you don't want to miss, don't delay. You don't want to miss the first fight on the pay-per-view card. That's Cassius Clay Collar, the most exciting lightweight on planet Earth, against one of the elite prospects in mixed martial arts who has now become one of the elite pure fighters, and of course I'm talking about AJ McKee. Then this Thiago Santos, Joel Romero, former PFL heavyweight champ versus former Bellator light heavyweight champ in that third bout. Ray Cooper III is a two-time welterweight champion. Jason Jackson shocked the world when he knocked off Amosov, who previously had an undefeated record. He is now the Bellator champion at 170 pounds. 2023 light heavyweight champion from the PFL, Impa Kasanganay, drops back down to 185 to take on undefeated Johnny Evelyn. And heavyweight main event, Reina Fajeda, 2023 PFL heavyweight champion against Ryan Bader, who is reigning at heavyweight for Bellator. By the way, the winner of that fight doesn't just get our super belt, that's a belt plus a ring, doesn't just get the win bonus, also gets a future matchup with Francis Ngannou, the baddest man on planet Earth, the biggest champion we have, literally and figuratively. Francis Ngannou made the announcement himself this week. You know, my next opponent in mixed martial arts after I take care of Anthony Joshua, potentially challenge for an undisputed heavyweight boxing world title, my next MMA opponent is the winner of tonight's Bellator versus PFL champ versus champ. That is enough reason, enough motivation to win this fight.
That's it. You want to talk about why you're going to tune in? Got 3 reasons. We're going to show you who the baddest heavyweight in the world is. We're going to show you who the first opponent for Francis Ngannou in the PFL is going to be. And we are going to finally settle this. Is it Bellator MMA or is it the Professional Fighters League? All 3 of those competitions are happening at once, and they're happening on pay-per-view right now.
Chael Sonnen and Sean O'Connell. We got Randy Couture, we got Josh Thompson, Amanda Guerra, Big John McCarthy's here, we got Dan Hardy, and all of us driving towards watching this man, Ryan Darth Bader, 15-5 in the UFC, champion in Bellator's light heavyweight division, champion in Bellator's heavyweight division. He beat Fedor Emelianenko twice, 2 times. He beat a man who some people think in his prime is the best heavyweight mixed martial arts has ever seen. But he gives up a lot of size, maybe some speed, because Ryan Bader, I say this respectfully, it's been a year since he's been in a cage. He's 40 years old. You don't get faster at that age. I'm not getting faster at that age, at least.
Hey, I'll tell you, He doesn't get faster, but I also tell you, he's not slowing down. I mean, one thing about Ryan Bader, he is giving us some signs, but he's trading that for some experience. One thing, he is a master, and he is very polished in sport. His opponent, a little rougher around the edges. I see the potential, sure I do. As a Bellator representative, we got real problems tonight, but we're the favorite for a reason.
All right, that's a heavyweight main event. If you want to see it, you got to buy the pay-per-view. Maybe that one doesn't strike your fancy. Maybe you don't like an experienced guy versus a rising young star. Maybe what you need is our co-main event. This is taking place at middleweight in Kasanganay, one of the great stories in mixed martial arts in 2023. He started on our Challenger Series, which means he had a fight early in the year, and then he won 4 fights in the season on his way to $1 million championship. That means this is his 6th trip to the Smart Cage in less than 365 days. The man loves being active. Some of the best cardio in the game, certainly in the upper weight class.
In the last 3 years, you want the A to Z on this guy? He was homeless in his car, and now he's a millionaire.
And of course, he's taking on a guy. I want to wave this PFL flag, I promise you I do. But I'm not going to deny the truth that Johnny Eblen is the best middleweight on planet Earth right now. His undefeated record speaks to that. His versatility speaks to that. And the fact that all of his teammates at American Top Team say, this man is an absolute monster. Everything points to Johnny Eblen being a nightmare to fight.
A consensus ranking has Johnny Eblen as the best 85-pounder in the world. I got to tell you, who he hasn't fought, he's trained with, and just to win the Bellator Championship, he went through the legend Gegard Mousasi. Johnny Eblen puts all of that on the line against Impa tonight.
In the fighter meetings, Johnny Eblen said, you know, I had to go and train somewhere else to get myself tested. Now, he's usually at American Top Team, and he got a little too comfortable in that room full of killers. That'll tell you where his skill level is. Where he said he was getting a little too easy at American Top Team, ladies and gentlemen. We got a pay-per-view card coming your way. Incredible fights. Go purchase